I have not come to bargain. What's up, everybody, and welcome to another Pretentious review. This time, What If, episode 8, and the season 1 finale. And what a great show we have for you today, because I, of course, am your host, Justin the Culture Coyote, and joining me, as always, is the DC Dad, aka the IKEA Assembler, and dare I say, animation sensation, the food vlog and theme park jogging, Disney Grizzly himself, Lucas Abels. Now, remember, if you like this content, please leave a like on this video and subscribe to us here at YouTube as well as TikTok. And you can keep up with the latest in Marvel news and pop culture news as well on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram. Pretentious Pop Culture at every place. And you can show the Disney Grizzly over here a huge bear hug and support him at Adventures by Abels on YouTube and Instagram as well. That's his personal channel where he does some IKEA assembling and food park jogging and reviewing all the great Disney food and theme park stuff going on down in Florida. And we also have Alex, who kind of gave us the inspiration we needed to kickstart this channel at In the Bat Loop on YouTube and TikTok and Instagram. Follow him there as well. Finally, you can get the Pretentious Pop Culture t-shirts if you want to support us. Another great pop culture wardrobe at jakesdesignsrw.com. Use the promo code POPCULT, that's POPCULT, all caps, at checkout for a 10% off your order. And remember, it's all free shipping. Now, before we get into the Disney magic that is What If, we do want to talk about there's a couple there's like one thing that I can definitely mention. WandaVision is reportedly getting a spinoff with Agatha, Catherine Hahn.
And that's exciting. 100% exciting.
About it, that's pretty much it. We got a trailer for the live action Netflix series Resident Evil, which I'll probably react to later on TikTok, so you can check that out there. I'm really excited for that. I've only played the second Resident Evil, the third Resident Evil. Everybody loves the fourth, but I just could not deal with
That's my favorite one.
the way that the guy, like, I didn't get a chance to play it back in the day, but like trying to play it like a few months ago, it's just so hard to move the gun around, and like you'll be in a hallway and there's
That
like
was arguably my favorite style of shooter because I don't like first person shooters all that much. So when I got like an over the shoulder shooter that had like a laser pointer sight, I was like, this is really cool. This is really innovative.
Yeah, but the way that game works is you can't walk and shoot. You have to stop while you're walking to aim the gun, and the gun aiming mechanic is really bad. The other Resident Evil games are third person, except for 7 and 8, and I played 7. Very different from the other Resident Evil games. I also play a little bit of 6, but anyway, I digress. I upgrade 4 and 5 for me so I can actually enjoy those. Make them a little more modern. Anyway, moving on. I wish there was more to talk about in the news. I'm gonna give it one little look over on it.
But that is a good thing. But that is a good thing though, because these episodes that we're about to talk about, I'm sorry guys that we missed out last week. Just mismatched schedules, communication, all that happens, real life stuff. But these last two episodes,
it was
there's a
specifically
lot
because
to
we
talk
went and saw
about.
Venom. We went and saw
Yeah.
Venom, so we're obviously whenever there's a movie that comes out on a day we were planning on doing a TV stream, we're gonna go see the movie instead. So just for future reference. I'm not seeing anything else on the news, sadly. So moving right along, we got what's the name? What if Ultron won? Is number 8, and then number 9 is what if the Watcher broke his oath. So I really feel like it's almost a good thing that we waited for like to sandwich these two episodes together because this feels like a two-parter kind of thing. Because up until now, it's all been very self-contained. Each episode kind of starting and ending, and having its own like self-contained story. Whereas it seemed like Party Thor, kind of ended in a cliffhanger, and not that Ultron, What If Ultron 1 kind of picks it up right from where that left off. It doesn't really, kind of, but not really. The final episode does, in fact, pick up immediately after this one ends. So, very, very appropriate to watch both back to back. That being said, um, first off, heartbreaking. Heartbreaking. You gave us Ultron, but you didn't give us Ultron because who's voicing it? I don't know, but all I do know is it's not James Spader, and
Didn't matter
I
to me because I didn't like
I don't
Ultron in the
I don't
Age of
well
Ultron. So that's
I
my
don't know
opinion.
why you couldn't get the Lizard King to come voice Ultron. Like he's the mother Lizard King. Anyway, Robert
I
California
like
is the
this
best.
voice better, but like I told you, I like the cold, calculated, like robotic, destroy everything Ultron.
I think you're forgetting like that is probably the most hurtful thing you ever said to me on the stream because James Spader brought that. He brought a lot of jokes as well, which you probably didn't like, but he also brought that, cold calculating, especially from the beginning where he's like, "Oh, I killed the other one." And they're like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, the other guy. It wasn't my first plan, but I killed him."
I
And he's
lost
talking about
interest in
killing.
the I lost interest in Ultron after he made the joke after cutting off Claw's arm. Sorry, and so I was like, I can't deal with him.
Yeah, but that was his voice.
I just tie that into his voice, and he doesn't sound like does not
This
sound
is
like
this is
Ultron
where
to me.
my mood is not off here, but yeah, is what it is.
I like this version of Ultron better.
Um,
Just throwing that out there. This is the
well,
Ultron. This was good. This tickled me my like Ultron need for the MCU.
I think the character's fine. The voice was just to me. It was the saddest thing. I love James Spader so much. I love everything he says and everything he does, and didn't get him. And that was a horrible decision, I think, to even have him if you're not gonna have James Spader. Same goes for Gamora in the next episode, but we'll get to that. So this one, really cool. Probably like the darkest thing we've seen so far. Like we saw like, Doctor Strange already destroy an entire universe, but this Vision, this Ultron is literally going around purposefully destroying every kind of organic life he can find, and everybody's making the jokes, or not the jokes, but the like confusion of, oh, he immediately kills Thanos when Thanos has all the Infinity Stones except for the Mind Stone. So everybody was upset about that. You remember how he kills Thanos,
Yeah, he sliced him in half.
and I'm loving all the jokes.
I wasn't upset by it. Like I could
I
see
It was okay. It was fine.
if you gave Ultron an Infinity Stone, I'm pretty sure he's gonna know how to use it better than Thanos and quicker than Thanos because he's a robot. Hey,
Well, Vision didn't slice him in half. That's why.
Vision also isn't. Vision also had compassion. Vision also was Jarvis's AI, not the Ultron AI. So you have to play that into factor.
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense to an extent. It also kind of diminishes, like, you would think Vision, also being a robot, might have the computing power to figure that out, but he doesn't. And I think your reasons are sound, that he's distracted by Wanda.
Mm-hmm.
He's just distracted by the, everything. But like this Ultron, Thanos shows up, and he's
Interesting. Interesting.
all the jokes are on TikTok were like, um how can Thanos be in two places at once? Or he's really beside himself in this next episode. He's like, I was really torn.
That's great.
I was really torn with my Thanos's interpretation of this episode. And then someone's like, they really had to they're like they were laser focused on making Thanos work in this episode, so like they had to draw the line somewhere. So I thought it was
That's great.
perfect.
That's great. I haven't seen those.
I tried like I shared the meme too early, and everybody I talked to was like, oh, I didn't get that. And I was like, oh, you didn't see the episode yet. But anyway, that was cool because it just goes to show like what if anything's possible. So if something doesn't work in one episode, it could work in another episode. So or in the mainline universe, we also understand that the Watcher is. I think they've confirmed that the Watcher is talking to us as people. So he is. We are also in the MCU, ladies and gentlemen. We are part of that. So because otherwise, because he is saying in your universe, which he's implying that it's 616 what we've been watching. So he recognizes that that's the first universe, and that's why every episode he says in these new realities, because these are all new because Loki, the series Loki paved the way for the multiverse to be born, and we have here desperate times. It's strange to think that only Natasha and Clint are alive, only Black Widow and Hawkeye are alive, because it's like, are they really that like resourceful and
I was about to
smart?
say the resourcefulness of humans, and Ultron would definitely, and like I feel like Ultron would have saw them as the least threatening source and just took out the superheroes, and then they could just lay low. Because they're not superheroes; they're just normal. They're like the Batman of
it's like it's making a statement for sure, and that's fine. Again, we're talking what if. So again, reiterating, anything's possible. Well, you got a big old coffee mug. How about them dogs? Oh, anyway, Georgia. Sorry, Florida fans. he's a Georgia fan. So I really like this episode a lot. I think this episode like brought the stakes higher to an extent where the whole series actually made me feel like I didn't waste as much of my time watching it. Like I've enjoyed What If, but it's all felt like this episode is what really brought it all together to be like, okay, so while it was sort of predictable that we were going to get this kind of thing where what does a visual Ultron do as soon as he destroys everybody in his own universe?
Breaks into the multiverse.
Yeah. So we, not surprisingly, we figured that would happen, right? Like you and I, we figured there would be somebody that would start
a multiversal threat.
Yes. So kind of like forcing Uatu, the Watcher, to
intervene,
have to play some deal, play his hand. And I gotta say, like I think this episode is the best of the series, episode 8. The next episode, while I think they stick the landing, I don't think they reach the same highs as the first time you see Vision turn to the Watcher and be like, "Oh, there's more. I can do more," and just start to like the chills that you get seeing a character as powerful like Ultron Vision thus far in the Marvel Universe is the most powerful and successful villain we've seen. Period.
And I love it. I love it. I love it so much. I love that we're getting. I love that we got almost omnipotent level beings fighting each other, and that's.
So I think they're omnipotent. I think they're omnipotent. When you think of Watcher being able to exist outside of time and have the ability to transfer between universes.
I would say the Watcher it has omnipotency. But I wouldn't say
you don't think Ultron earned omnipotence after destroying all life in his own universe, which means he left his own galaxy to another galaxy, galaxy.
Without going into episode 9 now, would you, since we're talking about omnipotency, would you say the Strange Supreme is omnipotent then? Because he was able to do what he's able to do? Okay, then.
He destroyed an entire universe.
Okay, I will give you omnipotency to Ultron Vision. Okay.
I really hope we say omnipotent like 7 or 8 more times this year.
I will, because this is what I've been waiting for the Marvel universe. Like that's my thing.
I'm just glad you're not saying omnipotent. That's all. That's
one of my favorite things from DC stuff is like how godlike their characters are and how they've showcased how godlike their characters are in their movies and their animated like television series, animated movies. Marvel hasn't done that yet with any of their characters. Most of their characters they've nerfed, if anything, to make them more grounded and like I guess more acceptable to the masses. But I like that this show did not pull any punches, and
I think retroactively, I think that's the most genius thing Marvel could have done, because what it does is, for their own universe, they were weak, but now that we have the multiverse and the threats are going to be way bigger, they're going to have to evolve to meet those challenges. So we're not going to get like Shang-Chi. He's not pulling any, like he seems overpowered, if anything. You know what I mean? Like from the movie at the end, he seems overpowered. He doesn't seem like a weak guy. And we're gonna see a really strong Doctor Strange coming up. We're gonna see a really strong Captain Marvel. All these characters are gonna be god tier characters coming up, and except maybe the X-Men. We'll see how they handle.
As much as I am gushing over Strange Supreme, and that's probably my top 3 favorite characters within the MCU now. Top 3 characters: Strange Supreme, love him. I don't think we're ever gonna get a live action strength power Doctor Strange compared to that, and that bothers me a little bit. Unless
what bothers me is the idea
they really amped up like Strange's like learning curve. I don't think we're gonna get that again, and I'm just like, oh.
Well, I think here's what we're gonna get, like, because let's not talk about Strange Supreme with episode 8 talk yet.
Yeah. Sorry, I know.
Because there's a lot to unpack there, and we need to kind of we can kind of breeze over this episode because it's. I don't want to though, because it is so incredible. Like, it is the coolest thing when you get, like, Lucas and I probably have mentioned Gurren Lagann on these streams, but there are very few things that you get to watch that escalate the stakes to such an extreme that literal galaxies are being thrown at each other, and that's not really what's happening here. But they're going from reality to reality to reality, and like affecting small changes in each universe as they're fighting. And a couple Easter eggs here, like we get Mustafar, which is a Star Wars universe, and it's literally like in my head canon, it's not Mustafar until they use it, and it's just like a cute little joke and wink and nod, and that's fine. It's Mustafar, but it doesn't matter. It's never going to be used. And if it is used, I'm going to be like butthurt because I don't want Star Wars to cross over into Marvel.
But fun fact: Marvel has the licensing and distributing rights for the Star Wars comics.
I know, but I just
Disney own Marvel.
There's too many good Marvel characters for them to need to cross over Star Wars characters into Marvel, when Star Wars is in its own right great, but they don't do the same kinds of storytelling that you would have in the Marvel universe. And I think the Marvel universe is more carefully crafted than the Star Wars universe, regardless of how. So I don't want, in the same way that I'm not really a fan of. I'm not going to say this because it'll spoil Venom 2. Anyway, I personally, and so the Mustafar thing, I'll call it Mustafar because that's basically what it is. But I'm not. It doesn't really excite me to see like, oh, Star Wars. You know, it's just cool. They decided to do that. And there's a universe where Captain America is becoming president, which is the Ultimate Universe. So they actually went to the Ultimate Universe of that, and that was exciting for me. But again, I don't think we're gonna ever really see Steve Rogers again in a live action setting, and if we see him in a cartoon setting like in What If, where it's going to be very limited, like it's been. So cool. I like how they're respecting all the source material in a way that, you know, pays homage. But anyway, so that, would you agree? Like this is so far, like the next 2 episodes, we get the biggest fights that Marvel has ever done, like with the biggest stakes, the highest scale, and just
you can't ever go higher than a literal being unless you bring the one above all. Like, and those characters into the Marvel universe finally, than someone taking his mouth and eating a galaxy.
That's 9. Let's not go there yet.
No, it's not. It's the Ultron. It's the Ultron
did it.
Ultron Vision when he was fighting the Watcher. One of the things he does is the Watcher's inside of one on the planet. All of a sudden, you see it zooms out to like the galaxy, and he just goes and just noms the galaxy. You think
I don't want to split hairs.
Galactus is like a great character
I
because
don't
he eats planets. No, this man ate a galaxy.
I don't want to split hairs, but I think he ate a solar system because there was like when they zoomed out, it wasn't like the whole galaxy.
Still.
No. It's still crazy.
Eats a planet.
It's still crazy.
Galactus eats a planet. This man ate all the planets.
He ate most of them in the solar system.
He literally had a spaghetti and planet platter.
Yeah, but he didn't like. Well, I'm saying it didn't show him eating any stars, so I think he ate a solar system. But that's fine. I'm splitting hairs. It doesn't matter. It's still yes. Like I'm not trying to like pull anything down from like that's the level of stakes we're getting here. And in a way, like the stakes aren't like whenever you have the multiverse, the stakes like we know this from Rick and Morty, the stakes are never never lower than if stuff happens here, we can just go into another universe. Now here, every reality is threatened because Ultron Vision has learned how to move beyond his own, and of course his intentions are extremely flawed, and I really love like one of my favorite things that really makes this episode the best one for me is when he's finally won. He has that kind of Thanos moment where he's won, he's achieved his objective, and he's just like, what do I do? And there's a moment where he starts to reflect and he almost starts to feel terrible until he notices the Watcher's presence and is able to get regain he says I think he's like a program without like a computer without a program or something like that, which is at its core, if you have a synthetic creation, that's basically the soul, the purpose, and he had no purpose, and now he's like, I don't know, like I feel terrible, and being such a cold, calculating machine, he doesn't know how to feel love or any of that. But I think at that moment, if it hadn't have been for Watcher, I think we could have started to get some kind of redemption for him. Lucas, could you hit that mute button, please?
Sorry.
Yeah,
I totally agree. When he saw Watcher like staring at him, I was just like, I was enjoying the episode, right? I was enjoying it, and I was like, okay, cool. This is what I want from an Ultron character. This is what I want. The only other iteration of Ultron that I really liked that isn't a comic book Ultron has been Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes. I think they did a really good job with the Ultron character in that show. But like I said, this is the Ultron that I wanted from the MCU, and I finally got him. But I was like, okay, cool. Okay, Age of Ultron, basically. Okay. And then like he saw the Watcher, and I'm like, what's about to happen?
Did it give you the same kind of feel that Superman when he turns and looks at the Flash?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And then the Watcher's like reaction. What the hell? Like, God.
It's like no. I'm not. You didn't see nothing. I liked how we got to see because like so far we've only seen the silhouettes of the Watcher, but this episode we finally get to see like from Watcher's perspective. So, and
we saw the first time we saw the Watcher when he came into the Doctor Strange universe.
Yeah, but that was still from Doctor Strange's perspective. I'm talking. We got to see outside of that, and what I was segueing, they're using string theory concepts, the way they designed it, so that everything looks like a grid, like a checkerboard, and like there's spaces in between it, and he's kind of in between the universes, which would just be strings, and that's kind of it's not exactly strings. It's more of the it looks more like glass, like unevenly plastered glass, which is what we've been seeing every time there's an intro where the glass is kind of spiraling and in the background here where each like plate of glass, each crack or piece is its own thing. But anyway, yeah, the design of this was great. Like everything about this episode was like me, like breathing a sigh of relief, going, okay, at least they did something with What If. It's not just going to be this anthology. They're actually using the idea of the multiverse, and it's crazy to think that, even though like just a couple months ago Loki ended, and before that we didn't think we were going to get the multiverse this big until at least Doctor Strange. But no, we're getting it way ahead of that. So, um, and it was really satisfying to see that. And of course, this is What If Ultron won, but he also wins at the end of this episode, forcing Uatu to flee. Also, we didn't really talk about we haven't really been talking about Clint and Natasha. Um, it's cool that Hawkeye's got like a fake arm, like
a machine gun arrow arm.
yeah, but like Bucky, Winter Soldier, so he's kind of got the metal arm thing going. Their banter's great. I think at this point, the person voice acting for Natasha is I'm actually growing on her, and she's doing fine. I'm appreciating her. And they're trying to get Zola, the consciousness of Zola, so that they can upload it
Yeah.
into.
Also showing. Well, I guess that's next episode. I guess I was about to say something about like omnipotency with him too.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
like
Hold on.
Okay.
But well, we're almost there. But like basically, like Zola is the guy from Hydra who if you don't remember, anybody watching, he's like the defector scientist who is kind of like uploaded into the computer, and in Winter Soldier they found him. But according to this, Zola was uploaded to more than one computer, because he in Winter Soldier, as far as we knew, is only that one building. They go to a different building here. So that was cool. And the idea, like the idea of any of these places having electricity, there's a lot of like questions I have, by the way, concerning especially the last episode. But this one is like, why does it's What If, so again, whatever. But why does this building have electricity when the whole world is a
backup
cinder?
generator?
Yeah, of course, easily explained. Which needs gas or some kind. I don't know. Well, we got, you know what? Never mind, because with arc reactor technology, Tony Stark can figure out how to make it. Anyway, moving on. Just a silly question. Whatever. They're gonna use an arrow, or are they make an arrow with the Zola on it, so they can use. They're like, we're not gonna beat Ultron Vision with force, or the only way we can do it. He's a computer. We got to use another AI to beat him, and that's so clever. Like, if you're gonna have Ultron Vision, like that is the most clever thing they probably could have done with What If. Is like, hey, we're gonna take a classic AI that not Jarvis, because Jarvis already dead, and the only other one at this point, because Tony hasn't created Friday or the other person's name. Yeah, Spider-Man's AI.
Yeah.
Is it Sheila? He names her like Michelle or something. It's not. It's neither of those names, but it's anyway.
I just watched
And
Far From Home too. Yeah.
Well, he doesn't really. He calls her more by her name in Homecoming. So, anywho, and I thought that was a very clever way to tackle the issue. Again, it's weird seeing Clint and Natasha figure that out. But yeah, that's cool. And so they get the arrow. It doesn't work. I can't remember how this episode ends, except for the Watcher getting kind of retreating from the fight.
Oh, the episode ends with the Watcher coming back, and he's like, "I have to play my hand."
No, before that.
No. The episode ends with him talking to somebody, and we're like, "Who is he talking to?" He's in
Doctor Strange.
Yeah, that's how the episode ends.
But like, what before that? How did they get to that point? All I remember is them making the arrow.
Hawkeye dies.
Yep.
He jumps. He's like, I'm tired.
He sacrifices himself, which is a role reversal of Boromir. Yeah.
So he sacrifices himself. Ultron Vision is going around destroying all the multiverses right now. and then we don't see anything else with him afterwards. We see the death of Hawkeye basically, right? And then it goes to the Watcher after the Watcher's fight. Like Watcher like zips out.
How does he get away? That's what I can't remember how he gets away. You can't either.
I
Moving on.
guess right.
Watcher gets away.
Yeah.
The Watcher gets away. So regardless, yes, Lucas, he's talking to Strange, right?
Strange Supreme.
Superior. Well, is it Strange Supreme or is it
Superior Strange? I don't know. Something wrong. Whatever. Better
it's
than
Taco Supreme. Anyway.
Taco Tuesday. Taco Thursday.
Taco Tuesday.
Tacos every day.
LeBron James.
Stop.
Dormammu, I've come to
bargain. Anyways,
Dormammu.
It's just the Watcher. It just the thing the tie in to. Well, we knew it was going to start tying in because at the end of Thor, if Thor was the only child, we saw Ultron Vision. But the moment I saw Strange, I was like, oh, my baby's back. Oh, he's here. Oh, I'm ready.
Okay. Well, I kind of felt the same way. But at the same point, like when we start talking about the next episode, I'm going to be much more hype because I think the next episode is the hypest episode. But there are some problems that it has.
It's in game. It's in game for What If. Like that's what it felt like to me.
Yeah, but if when we get to the score you're a little confused at why I will just say episode 8 is higher on the tier to me than episode 9, simply because this is the first time we get the stakes to where they're at, and it is the best fight I think we've gotten as far as like two characters fighting each other and like what we can do with, like Lucas said, here's like number 20th time where he said omnipotent beings, and like the whole multiverse is at stake. The threat is here. The villain is established. So this is kind of like the Infinity War. If the next episode is the end game, and but the end game in the next episode, we've only had 7 episodes to establish all these characters prior to get you hyped for them, and it's not enough time. It's not as much as 10 years of movies. So I like this episode better, but when we talk about episode 9, way more hype, just because it's the finale and they stick the landing. So episode 9, what if
the Watcher broke his oath?
Yes. So and it's the end. So we're wondering the whole time of watching this, are they going to stick the landing? Are they going to make use of all these characters? Again, all these predictions kind of came true. Strange being MVP or GOAT or whatever you want to call it, right from the get-go. The whole episode, this is why I know Lucas is like, this is a different version of Strange. It's like, no, it's still the same Doctor Strange. It's just he's gathered all these powers and he's has a different reason. He's got
years and years and years of training now at this point.
Yeah, but he's still Doctor Strange. Like he's still Doctor Strange.
I think this Doctor Strange is
he still behaves the same way.
He's still as cocky as Strange is, but I feel like this Strange, he doesn't have anything to lose, basically, because he even says it in the episode. Like he's like, what do I have left to do in my life after the end at the end of the episode? Remember? So I'm like sitting there thinking like this Strange has nothing to lose, so he doesn't hold back at all with what he does. Whereas our Strange, our MCU 616, our universe is Doctor Strange. I feel like he would still pull his punches at some point. Like he would still like think about what he was doing. Like if there was people around, if there was things he had to do around, like maybe run his brain a little bit longer. This Doctor Strange is literally like, let me summon an eldritch god and not give a crap what's going to happen about it.
Yeah, if the eldritch gods thing is the only, that's a huge difference. But like for the most part, he is the same. He behaves the same way. Like as far as like how he talks, why I like Doctor Strange the best. He is my favorite superhero, and not just this one, but like all of them. Whenever there's something going on, he knows more than everybody else, except maybe the Watcher this time. But like he doesn't show his cards like a true magician, and he uses things appropriately and he thinks before every action, right? And he is able to utilize whenever he's in a team, as we saw from Infinity War and Endgame, he's able to make the use of his other team members' powers and enhance them. And he's kind of like the battle mage that's in the back while everybody, like the tanks, are up front. If you're talking like D&D or World of Warcraft, you got the tanks up front, but Doctor Strange is back, not just healing, but like doing all kinds of other buffs and everything. But not just the buffs, he actually can fight too. And he's kind of like, I can do basically anything that the situation requires. And while on one hand that's kind of a cop out because it gives you the ability to not set up spells and to just have them surprisingly come. So if you're a writer, you can be like, how does Doctor Strange fight this guy? And you're like, well, what if we have him make a tornado? And it's like, have we seen him make a tornado? No, but they can just write that in. So on one hand, that's kind of a lazy cop out, and that's why magic is typically like the least interesting thing to me. But we know Doctor Strange. We know that he's been studying. We know that he's earned, and that this one, of course, Lucas said he's had years and years and years of torturous, turmoil of just the sacrificing his body in the sake of like allowing all of these eldritch beings to basically have this symbiotic relation with him. No venom, pun intended. That's why I love Doctor Strange. He is always the guy who, if something's going wrong, you're like, Doctor Strange, what's going on? And he's like, well, I'll tell you a little bit, but I'm not going to tell you everything. And when I need to, I will pull out some awesome magic. And every time we see Doctor Strange, he's going to do something new and cool and inventive. Except for we'll see him do the portal, which we don't see at all. We don't see really. Oh, actually, yes, we do. We do anyway.
He uses the portal once.
Yes.
He doesn't use the
yeah. But anyway, so you can talk. I'm not trying to cut you off. I just don't want to get to that. I didn't want to spoil any of the battle stuff.
That's the saying. I just want to throw out there that the way they started this episode, they couldn't have hit me closer to home because they hit me with my favorite reiteration, favorite movie from the MCU being reiterated. So this episode starts off with Captain Carter doing the jump to the ship that Steve did in Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
And they updated her costume as well to went from the World War II era costume to what Steve would have wore if he would, like, it's same style combat costume, but Captain Carter. And Cartered. I loved it. You got
Captain Carter.
I loved it. I love that I love that her relationship with Natasha is essentially the same relationship that Steve and Natasha had in our universe. They're very close. They're like,
and now friends. Everybody's shipping Natasha and Captain Carter. They're like, oh, okay, Black Widow and Captain Carter should get together. Oh.
When did the line? When did anything ever good start with the name Brendan from accounting?
No, it's Bernard.
Like
like that was good, and like again, like for me, like that wasn't like exciting because it's like we've seen this already, and it's a nice spin on it, but they didn't last too long there. They were there a perfect amount of time. I didn't think we needed Batroc again. We've been seeing him a lot lately this year, huh? Like from it's like he's a lot of George St. Pierre. He's like, can I please? I don't fight anymore. Can I please do stuff?
But I liked the scuffle that they had. It was really fun.
Yeah,
It was just like, I thought you were more than that shield, and then she's just like, hands.
It also shows how different Peggy and Steve are. Peggy is they're both kind of stuck. Peggy is like overconfident to the point where she's just like, ugh, you're just a fly. I'm just gonna swat you like a fly. Whereas Steve is like respect. Steve is more like classic
honor.
I'll fight you like a man. Like I'll do this with my shield. He's not trying to prove anything. Peggy, I don't think she's trying to prove anything, but like she is flaunting it. Boastfully.
I see it as this,
Yeah.
right? So whereas
Yeah.
Peggy was like a secret agent, more of a spy, she didn't really
Yeah.
have the soldier background.
Yeah.
She didn't, and she also grew up in an era where women, women were treated
No,
differently.
it makes
So
perfect
like
sense. Yes.
exactly. And now
Yes.
Steve fights like a soldier. He fights like someone who is like
Humble.
like a man from that era too. Like not, I'm not saying every man was like that. I don't want to
No.
be that guy, but like when you think of men from World War II era, they're basically what Steve Rogers is, like the early 50s. Like he's basically like the epitome of what you would think a man was. So
Nah,
that's
because
why he
when
thinks
I
the way
think
he
of the
does.
50s and white men, I think of the wives being taken. Anyway, I'm not gonna go there, but yeah,
Oh.
I don't.
See, I think on two different spectrums. I
Especially
think
one
what
from Brooklyn.
I grew up
Especially one
with.
from
I think
Brooklyn.
of what I grew up with, who was my grandpa who fought in World War II, and he like the way he held himself very similar to the way Steve holds himself. So it's just more of a personal connection for me. But
No,
Buck,
Steve to me is like the actualized like again. I never really liked this because I don't think he doesn't have a character turn. He's always the same guy as like until the end where he finally decides to be selfish a little bit. Where at the end game he's like I'm gonna go be with Peggy. Um, and then we finally get that character arc realized. But until then, he's like, I got to do the right thing. I got to do the right thing because I was bullied and I don't like being bullied and I don't like other people being bullied. But that makes him really humble and that makes him like the ideal version of like a humble man who's just trying to help and not like have any credit. He doesn't need
or
any
want
credit.
anything
He
in
doesn't.
return. He doesn't
No.
want anything in return. No.
And he doesn't see himself as above anybody. Whereas Peggy, who has been a woman her whole life. Yeah, it's so perfect for the contrast because she's been a woman her whole life, having to constantly prove herself the entire time because she's in a world of men in an era where women were seen as like less than you know I don't know like just lesser, and so she's having to like women are not. She's kind of like doing this not just for her but for women altogether. So and I think that really fits her character. I think that makes her 100% more interesting than Steve because it's not interesting to see a guy do things that are good just because they're good. And that's my 2 cents. Anyway, we talked a lot about Peggy, but that's cool because that's
I
the
like
impact.
like I
Yes.
said like I said when I talked to you last night, I changed my ranking list because of this episode. And I went back and watched the other episodes and I realized things and I was like, why was I thinking this way about certain things?
I didn't do that. But anyway, what else? We also I do want to address they were supposed to have 10 episodes this season, but they had to cut it short because of COVID, I think is what their excuse was. Whether that's real or not, who knows? But they were going to have the Gamora episode where Tony goes to Sakaar to get Bruce Banner, and somehow or another that starts off where Gamora is able to defeat Thanos on Sakaar. However, how they both got there, who knows? Sakaar, of course, is the planet in Thor Ragnarok with the Grandmaster. But yeah, you'll see Tony's armor when the Watcher is going around recruiting everybody. He's kind of got the Ragnarok writing all over his armor. So,
Yeah, it's kind of
which is
like
really cool. And I love how he's like, "I'm not here for you, Tony," and because Tony's still being like this completely boastful, like cocky little diva, and he's like, okay, where do I guess I'll have to get my keys to my sports car, and then Watcher's like, no, this show ain't for you, bro.
I love
Um,
that. I like as much as all the MCU movies built up Tony Stark as like the main hero, had a perfect arc. I'm glad we didn't get more Tony and they just used him as like a plot device for all the
right.
movies.
It would have made more sense, like if it hadn't have been
Or
for
sorry,
all of what we,
episodes.
yeah, if it hadn't have been for what we know already, like with Robert A. Jr.'s involvement, with Tony Stark's arc ending, it would have made more sense for the Watcher to get a Tony Stark because that's the person who angers Ultron the most, and so that would put Ultron in the more angry than thinking space, and so as a tactician, you would want a Tony Stark on the team, but we didn't need that.
He
for
is
the
a
episode.
wild card, though. He is a wild card, though. So you have to think about it.
Who?
Tony Stark. Like, he's always been the wild card on the team. He's never.
So is Killmonger.
Well, we come to find out the reason why he put Killmonger on the team. We'll find out why. That was all planned.
It was weird to see Black Panther and Killmonger on the same team together. That was weird.
Cousin, we are not cousins.
It's like, shut up, Eric. Yeah,
I love Killmonger. I'm sorry.
No, I love to hate him, but he's a piece of crap. He's a fascist piece of crap.
I don't want to jump ahead and like spoil it for you, spoil it out again before we get to it. But
no, you can spoil anything except the battle scenes because there's the hypest things.
So what he does, and when he gets the Infinity Stones and his mindset is the exact same mindset he's had the whole time. It's the right mindset, but the wrong execution. That's been his.
No, it's not. So we have to reiterate this. It is not the right mindset to say, "Hey, my people are in trouble. My people have had a bad history of being considered not equal. I have to make sure that we have our place at the top, and everybody else suffers." It's the same thinking of Hitler. He is Hitler. He is his own race supremacist, and he is willing to do whatever it takes, sacrifice whoever. And he does not care. He acts like he's like, I wish it didn't have to be this way, but he'll do it. It doesn't really affect him too much because he is a ruthless, fascist, racist. He's a black supremacist, basically, which in the same way that Hitler was not an Aryan supremacist. That's what Killmonger is, and anybody says his headspace is in the right era. The only thing about Killmonger is that he's sympathetic because you can understand his struggles as having to live with that, having been thrown aside by both his inherited birthright with Wakanda and having dealt with the racism that is deeply rooted in America. So we can understand his thinking. We understand, sympathize with why he would want that, but it's still absolutely wrong. Don't be a supremacist for your race.
Harkens to his character. That's all I'm saying. Even if I said it wrong.
He's a great villain.
Like what he does later in the episode makes sense for his character because he's just like, I want to do something, and I want to do what I think is the right thing, but I'm doing it the wrong way.
You could say the same thing about Hitler. That's all I'm saying.
I'm not saying he's not comparable to Hitler. I never said that. I'm just saying he has a mindset where he thinks he is right.
Just don't be. Yes. He is just like Thanos, just like any other villain that is going to be well crafted. Yes. So his quality of Killmonger's writing. I just don't want to misconstrue like the idea that we're in support of a guy who wants to destroy everybody else's race or just at least dominate. So, but like that speaks to like Killmonger as a character. Like here's the things. So who we got? We got Gamora, Peggy, Superior Strange, T'Challa, Killmonger, and is there one more?
Thor.
Oh yeah.
That's Definitely. I was going on a date. We were going to have flowers and candles, and I needed to wash my hair.
Thor, calm down. We got.
I loved it so much.
Thor. We're getting long-winded here, but I just have to point out that it reminds me of watching Bill Nye the Science Guy, and whenever Bill would start talking about like really, really rabbit holing into like science talk, the camera guy, like there's an episode where there's people stealing Bill's tires behind him off of his car, and the camera guy's like, Bill, behind you, Bill, and Bill's just like talking all this science stuff and just not listening, and the camera guy's like, hey, good. That's exactly how the Watcher was with Thor. He's like, Thor, I come to recruit you for my.
He's
Come
just
here.
beating up all the old shot butts, and then he grabs
He grabs them.
and the face he makes is like,
Chris Hemsworth's having such a good time with this one.
I want to tell you, it's so freaking. I had to stop what I was doing, stand up, start coughing like I just did, and not wake up my wife and kid who were sleeping in the other room because I was dying laughing.
Oh, and that was Thor's answer. Like brother, because when Loki got his hand bitten off by an alligator, he had the same reaction that Thor did when he got grabbed. So yeah, a little bit of parody there. That was great. So I don't really remember much of Bro Thor except for like when they're describing the plan. He's like, "Could you repeat that? Because some people here might not have understood that, but not me. I got it."
He first slams an Ultron head down, and he's like, "A beer," and I was like, "Oh, he's gonna Doctor Strange's gonna do the thing. He's gonna do the thing. He's got. Oh, he didn't do the thing.
No, he did.
He didn't refill it though.
Yeah, he did. Well, he didn't do it on screen.
I know, but think about how good of a
he did it. He did it though. He did it. It just wasn't on screen because he kept he downed it, and you don't see Strange give him another beer. But still, Strange just pops it out. Like I was like, yes, I love Doctor Strange so much.
And then
he is so fun.
After he drinks the beer, they're like talking about what they need to do, and he's like, "But I'm just gonna go back because I got a date to get to. I gotta go do my thing." And then, who is it? The Watcher's like, "Oh, Doctor Strange was like, I wouldn't do that." And he opens up the door, and he just sees the portal, and he's just like,
I wanted to rewatch it. I watched it like at 3 a.m. when it came out, so I wanted to rewatch it, but I didn't have time.
And then the other thing I really liked with him was when they were talking about like the plan or whatever. The plan, he's like, "I am really well known for making really good attention to myself for no reason, out of nowhere." And then Doctor Strange was like, "I'm gonna have to take note of that."
So here's the thing that I didn't like about this episode that it just was the dumbest idea. I don't know why the writers did it. It's when Strange is like trying to give a speech and like bombing, and it's like that's not in character for him to be that cringe. And then is it Thor that takes over and is like, "All right, I know how to do this." Who was it? Was it T'Challa? Yeah.
Of course it was T'Challa. They had to let the characters shine in the way they're supposed to shine.
They didn't really give T'Challa much to do though this episode.
That's because he's a normal human with guns. Versus
no, I mean like as far as like speaking, he didn't really have like, him and Gamora didn't really have a lot.
Well, I didn't care about Gamora at all whatsoever.
Yeah, horrible decision to cast whoever they did as her voice actor. Sounds so strange. Like why even have her? Why even have her? Like if you had to cancel one of your episodes with her, like you could have just not had her.
It would have made more sense to have Peter from What If Zombies.
They probably we need another girl on the team. So
it made more sense to have him from the What If Zombies episode than it had to Gamora, just because Gamora was already, I guess, planned for with an episode, and they had to use her because it was
or Ant-Man head.
Or they used her because of the way they were going to destroy the Infinity Stones, I guess. Because you can't really destroy them unless you're A, Thanos, B, Vision.
The Infinity Stones rules are kind of thrown out the window.
They brought back the Infinity Stones, like not being able to be dealt with outside of their own universe, which was nice. And how in Loki, he had the box full of Infinity Stones. Like, well, these are useless unless they're in their own universe, so they're just laying here.
No, so here's the thing. Here's the misnomer that everybody has. In the comics, and Jake was very our third member that is just not. He's been, unfortunately, pray for him if you can. He's not doing very well. He's got health issues. He is very adamant that the stones in the comics, he's like, the stones do not work in any other universe. That has never, ever, ever been expressly stated. Ever. In Loki, they simply did not work in the TVA. never stated that they only work in their own universe. It simply stated that they don't work in the TVA because the TVA is outside of timelines in the same way that the Watcher is outside of universes. So they don't work. They do create, according to the Ancient One, the Infinity Stones create the flow of time. But one wonders if that is only true when there was only the one universe. Because now that there's a multiverse, do those Infinity Stones still create the flow of time? That can't happen because now there's an infinite amount of Infinity Stones. And someone in
only work in their own universe.
Someone, so, right? And here's where I have questions. If there's Infinity Stones in every universe, why not have the Watcher's team go to another universe and gather up Infinity Stones? They didn't do that. They could have done that. Didn't do that. If they did have the Time Stone with Superior Strange, he never lost it in his universe, so he got it. Which, again, what begs the question, do the Infinity Stones cancel each other out? And the answer is yes. But then at that point, the bigger question is, which one cancels which out? Is it just a matter of which one is used first? And I guess that's the answer. That's the closest answer we get. That
it's whoever plays their hand first. It's like
yes,
it's like chess.
Yes. It's like Yu-Gi-Oh. I mean chess. That's right, chess. We'll go with chess.
Magic Gathering.
I was thinking Magic, the Yu-Gi-Oh.
Pokemon. Pokemon TCG. I can keep going. Marvel versus System. Hearthstone?
Anyway, this is Chadwick Boseman's final performance in anything. This is the last he will appear in any kind of media form that is not like retroactive. So yeah, rest in peace, T'Challa. Rest in power, Chadwick. Also, with the team, the Vision, Ultron kind of just shows up, which is they were waiting on him. They kind of lured him.
Well, because they went to a planet where Ultron, I think, was life, and then they were just, they were doing that. The Doctor Strange gave a speech, this, that, and the other, and then all of a sudden Thor, lightning bolt to the sky, and they're like, oh crap, why is he here?
Yeah, he kind of telegraphed their but I thought they'd planned that anyways. So Ultron Vision shows up looking
because Strange goes, this is a lot earlier than we expected.
Yeah. So it's very in character for the wacky people like for Thor or Peter Quill to do something like that. Oh, I love how so we didn't talk about wherever the episodes ended with the exception of Peggy and Killmonger, that's where we were picking up our heroes.
Oh yeah, and T'Challa is Ego's trying to get Peter.
Yeah.
And T'Challa's just like, ha, Harno, you're mine.
Which doesn't make another thing that doesn't make sense to me. Killing the avatar of Ego doesn't kill Ego. So,
but they don't know that. I'm sure they don't know that.
I know they don't know that, but like the way it was handled, it was kind of like, is like, oh, no big deal. Ego's gone. No, the Ego, when they go back, Ego's still gonna have to be dealt with.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that. Anyway,
did we miss anybody?
No, as far as like he goes to Gamora and he goes to Eric Killmonger when they finally, thank goodness, like he looked like he was about to eat it because the Wakanda people had
Shuri,
he was behind
Shuri
it.
and Pepper and everybody was getting ready to come after him. I would have liked to see the play out of that one. But I think his fate. I think his fate is. I like how he like dropped like the Watcher in that one. Also is like Eric Killmonger, the protege of Tony Stark, also his killer, and I was like, Tony cannot catch a freaking break. Just
Tony has been kicked to the curb this season of What If, which is fine. I don't want him at all. I don't need more really terrible voice actor Tony Stark.
It's not the terrible voice actor Tony Stark.
I want to put a suit of armor around the world. Yeah, go get out of here.
I was very happy that I didn't get a tone what if Tony episode, or like a tone like more than it was than needed. I like that he was more of like the reasons for it, like a lot of things happened in the What If series. Like a lot of like the springboarding of things. I like that.
Yeah,
Like it was the first
he
death
was.
for Earth's Mightiest, the loss of Mightiest Heroes, Killmonger's episode. Like there's a bunch. Like I just
They're
like that.
paying respect to the genesis of the MCU, which is now the MCM, I guess, the Marvel Cinematic Multiverse. But
That would I hope they change that. That would be good.
They don't have to. We can. We can do it. The MCM done. Now the MCM now.
Yeah.
Nothing you can do about it. Marvel.
Until you TM it and we start saying it and you start making us pay you.
I don't think the MCU is trademarked either. I don't think the term Marvel Cinematic Universe is trademarked. Marvel Studios is. But anyway, going from
we don't even see. So we don't even get to see the So I talked about it. So Strange, the first thing we see of how smart Strange is, he covers everybody in a protection spell.
He's like, non-consensual spell coming your way, and they're like, ah.
And then Thor's face again. He's just like, ah!
and Peggy's like, wow, like trippy, and like you get to see when you have 30. Here's a testament: when you have 30 minutes to have each character shine, and I mean that literally here because they're shining, but to like have them shine metaphorically. And this is a really good way to do it because the way they react, each one of them is their own personality. And so you don't have time to really develop them. This is a fantastic way to do that. Put them in these kinds of situations. That's all I have. Continue. Sorry.
Yeah, I was just pointing out that Strange was
on
point.
Yeah, he's like, all right, gotta be the GOAT.
And then while he's doing it, the cape just goes, dap, dap, look over there. Dap, dap, look over there. I'm like, hey, the cape's back.
The cloak of levitation, right?
Oh that's not the cloak of levitation. He got that cloak from a different being. So would it still be the cloak of levitation? Because the cloak of levitation is in a different timeline. It was the other one that he killed, the Strange he killed.
I don't remember.
No, remember
I don't remember.
So when he's pulling up all the creatures out of the stuff, he pulls up like this cockroach with like the cape he has on, and he like eats the cockroach. He's like, and he throws the cape on, like he's like, and it does the thing. But then when he fought Strange, his like the future version of himself, because he's actually in the past, like he had like the normal cloak of levitation on. So I know this is like down a rabbit hole for some reason. I don't know why that just bothered me.
I don't remember. I don't care. It's cool. I love it. It's great. And feel free to rabbit hole about anything you want. This is our hour and 2 hours. I don't know. I love everything. Like from here, I love everything about this episode up to a certain point. And I was so hype. I was cheering at the TV. I don't remember how we get there, but I remember Thor throws his hammer.
Las Vegas!
Yes. It's so dumb, but it makes so much sense. I've never heard
that battle cry before.
Yes. The best spell this whole episode, multiple Mjolnirs all over the place. And they even played a gag with it to where they all form a sphere, and then one just kind of like shows up at the very end. And it's funny. I don't know why it's funny, but it's funny because it's like
it's Thor.
Yeah. Well, it's not even Thor. Thor's not even on the screen. It's just the idea that all the hammers form, and then there's one like stray one that just kind of like goes. Boop.
They did such a great way of animating how these characters would fight too. Like all their movements are so fluid in these fight scenes. The way Peggy moves around the battlefield, the way T'Challa's like flying around doing like Star-Lord-y stuff. Like we don't.
Oh, Star-Lord is able to swipe the Soul Stone, which there was debates on whether
sticky fingers.
Oh, and he was confident too. He's like, I've stolen worse for I've stolen better for worse. And Eric is like, you really are from a different universe. So because T'Challa's not a thief at all. He's like, but a lot of people were like, he's a human. He can't hold Infinity Stone. It's like, yes, the only Infinity Stones you can't hold are the Power Stone and the Ether. Everything else you can hold without any kind of consequence. Like we've seen the Mind Stone being held. We've seen the Soul Stone being held several times. We've seen the Tesseract being held. We've seen
Time Stone.
Time Stone. Mm-hmm. So those are all you can handle those pretty easily. It's just the Power Stone that'll mess you up, unless you can hold hands with a tree.
And a raccoon.
He's not a raccoon. Ain't no thing like Rocket, but Rocket. Okay.
Trash Panda. Ain't no trash panda like
he's a raccoon. Okay. He's a triangle faced panda. Yeah. So again, just going back to how awesome, like how much I've loved Doctor Strange forever, because we always see something new with him. So we've never seen the protection spell done the way he did it, and that was new. And then we also got the Mjolnir spell, which was new. We've never seen that, and both of those I think are things that regular Strange could do. So without even the Eldritch stuff coming into play, I think that's spells that he could probably learn and figure out. And then I don't really remember the other heroes as much, like what they accomplished, other than Chala swiping the Soul Stone. They have this
Peggy jumped from Mjolnir's, like flew back on a Mjolnir, like smacked him with a shield, like she did a bunch of like Captain Carter / Captain America style fight scenes. Who else did we have? Eric. We didn't see much of Eric, but it makes sense because Eric's been like he's been fiddling with an Ultron head the whole time in the background, like an Ultron bot's head. He's been fiddling with that the whole time, and someone noticed that. I can't remember who, but someone did notice it. And they showed him noticing it, and then who else? The Bro Thor was just doing Bro Thor things. I mean, I can't even explain what he does. All you have to do is like think Bro Thor, and he's going to be doing it.
Oh yeah, he's attacking him with lightning in his hammer.
Oh, and Gamora has this thing called the Infinity Crusher, and that's the whole purpose of her being there. It's a machine that is built to destroy Infinity Stones.
I love the design of it too. It looks so cool. It looked like it was straight out of the Matrix or something. It was really cool. And somehow or another they get to. Okay, so before this, biggest question of the episode. So, and something I should have thought about earlier, but I didn't. One of the hypest moments too, just paying homage to the full season before it, utilizing several of its. Alex, how you doing? Spoilers for What If. When Strange decides to open up a portal with the sling ring, and all the zombies fall out, and I was like, yes, do it, and they're like, oh, very clever, and he's like, it's not the zombies,
it's what came with them.
Yeah, and so here's the biggest question of the whole thing, because the Scarlet Witch, which is appropriate because Ultron Vision, that's her lover, and so very appropriate to have Scarlet Witch fight Vision and kind of be like a distraction. I believe in WandaVision it was proclaimed that Wanda was a Nexus being, which, according to the rules they established, is the same being in all reality. If that is the case, how is there another Wanda that is a zombie? I don't know. I don't understand it. I don't know if they have a plan to address that, or if I'm misunderstanding what a Nexus being is. And by the way, if anybody, that's Alex, please go follow him in the Bat Loop on all of his respective channels. Thanks a lot for your support, Alex. Appreciate it. And anybody else watching, thanks a lot. So if anybody knows why what a Nexus being is, or maybe has a theory of why all this is possible, wants to clarify, let me know. Lucas, any ideas?
I thought I was underneath the impression of you two, so that's where I was at. So it threw me off a little bit when she popped up, but it made sense.
She was in the zombies episode too. I just didn't even think about it at the time. Yeah, now I'm thinking about it.
That's kind of why one of my rankings went down so far too. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah, well, and it's that, and it's like. Anyway, we'll get to our rankings soon. So somehow or another, Lucas, how did they get to Natasha's planet?
They zoomed, like they portaled out. So everyone kind of portaled out at different times. They were like, "See you later. We'll see you in a little bit," and then they portaled it back to Ultron's planet. And then when they got there, Natasha shows up, and then they have like this really witty banner between her and Peggy, where she's like, "I know you. Your mother's blah blah. Blah, your father's Alexei. Like you don't trust anybody, but you're very hard to be trusting. This, that, and the other." And she's like, "You really must really know me."
I didn't like that. I didn't like that
BFFs,
whole
if you will.
exchange. I did not like that because number one, Natasha doesn't know who her parents are. So using that as a way to, first off, how does Peggy know? Second,
No,
well,
she knows who her parents. No, she knows who her parents are.
She says daughter of Ivan, right?
Yeah.
In Infinity or Endgame, when they're in Vormir and Red Skull says that, Hawkeye's like, he knew your parents, and she goes, I didn't. So she doesn't know who her parents are. So that was confusing to me. Also, and it's a horrible way. If Peggy knows somehow, it's a different universe. Sure. That's a really horrible way to like show that you know somebody, and then also just saying you don't trust anybody. It's like anybody who knows how to read a dossier can come up with that. I think at this point Natasha's just desperate enough to and willing to believe anything because she has nothing left to live for, really, that she's all alone in a vast universe. But I didn't like the exchange of it. I felt like that could have been written a whole lot better. I did not.
I liked it.
Like what it should have been is Peggy should have been like, Natasha should have told her something about her past that Peggy was like, you always told me that if it hadn't have been for Budapest or something like akin to that, you wouldn't have done this and all that. And like, only you would have known that. But like just saying like, you're just describing a character trait to somebody and their parents' names.
Okay.
I thought that was pretty lame for a first meeting between them, especially when we're supposed to be assuming that they're besties in their own universe. You would think there'd be more than that too. Yeah. So I didn't like that at all. I thought that was horrible. But anyway.
So up to that point, I want to touch on how Ultron Vision has basically been like, so you can't beat me. You can't beat me. I'm going to beat you no matter what, right? So he shows up on his own universe where Natasha and all the Guardians of the Multiverse are at now. And he starts to get aggravated. He gets angry. He's just like, I've killed you all over the place. Why won't you die? And just gets angry and just starts doing even crazier things. And then there's an explosion at one point, and all of a sudden we're like, oh God, this is how it's going to end. And then all of a sudden you just see, and Doctor Strange just eats the explosion. And I'm just like,
do you know why he did that? He had a time. He was rewinding time with the time stone.
No, he ate the explosion. There was no green light anywhere with that.
Yeah, there was at the end of it. Mm-hmm. Yep, because the explosion undoes itself, if you remember.
Yeah, but he doesn't eat the explosion. No, he puts the explosion in his mouth.
He puts the universe or whatever in his mouth where that happened. He ate the universe, basically. I don't know. Like to me, from my point of view, I'm gonna look it up right now. But
he eats the explosion. Do not take this from me.
I'm taking it from you.
You're not because he didn't. He didn't. He ate the explosion. He ate the explosion.
Taking it from you.
Because that's when Ultron starts to realize he's like,
so right now
it's not everybody. It's not everybody that I'm having to deal with. It's just you. And he's like, Doctor Strange is like, I'm not here. What you talking about? Hey.
I'm taking it from you like T'Challa took the Soul Stone, okay?
You can't, though, because it didn't happen. He ate the universe. Not universe. He ate the explosion. He literally ate it. It's mine now. It's in my stomach. Thank you. And then that's when he got big, like when Ultron started to get big, he started getting angry. That's when it also happened too. Like that's when Doctor Strange starts pulling no punches and showing how strong he is as a character now. All the terrors coming out of him.
Okay, so hold on. Explain to me why if Doctor Strange ate the explosion, why? How?
Aesthetics and also magic and how strong
he
is.
Cop out.
Omnipotency.
Cop out.
Omnipotency.
Cop out.
Omnipotency.
Yes. Yes, but why? Omnipotent doesn't just like if he's omnipotent at that point, he should be able to just.
But that's the same argument that I had for Endgame. I said Infinity War was such a well crafted episode, right? And an episode. Infinity War was a well-crafted movie. Like it was a well-crafted movie. That's why I think Infinity War is better. I think Infinity War is better than Endgame. Whereas Endgame, there was a bunch of stuff that was happening, just for the sake of stuff happening. Like, and that was the point of this episode as well. We're seeing just what they could do with the animation the animation and money and like the skill they had behind us, behind them for this episode. Are you still looking for it?
I found it.
Okay.
Yeah, he rewound it, held it in his hand, and ate it. And it's the same sound effects as the here.
He ate it. He ate it. He just ate it. Why would he eat it then? If you could just rewind time to where there wasn't an explosion, why would you eat it?
I'm sure it has something to do with the Eldritch terrors. I'm double checking. Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
I think you might be right, but it's like it doesn't make sense to me unless you do that. So it goes in reverse. See? And he's got in his hand, he eats it.
Yeah.
And at this point, hold on. Okay, it's going to take a while, but like the explosion clearly rewinds, is what I'm saying, and it is later revealed that he's using the time stone the whole time.
If he used the time stone, Peggy wouldn't have realized in her face that time was being turned back.
No, because you can confine the spell to a
time stone. When he uses the time stone, everyone. So Homeboy used the time stone to stop everything when he was trying to get the soul stone back, right? And when Strange reversed the time, everyone didn't know the time was being reversed. Like they were still stuck in time.
I think you can confine the time stone to a specific area, but I don't know. All I know is the explosion rewinds. So
because he ate it, he was just like
no. The explosion itself goes like this and then goes back to normal.
Yeah, because he brought it back. He's just like,
yeah. Well, why can't it be both? Like he used the time stone and then ate it.
No, he just ate it because he's that strong. He doesn't need the time stone.
You're such a child.
No, that's the point. That's why I liked him so much, is because he only had to use the time stone.
It's okay, folks. Himself. We're both kids here. We're giant adult kids here, anyways. That's why we're arguing about whether
Alex, Justin will be watching it.
I'm gonna try to. I don't know if I can come up with the funds, except it's that time of year where everything's slow.
I just like the fact that he only had to use the time stone when he had to debunk another time stone. That's it. He didn't need to use the time stone at all, essentially, except to rewind, just to break the other time stone power. That's it.
Yeah. Either way, Doctor Strange is awesome, and we can both agree on that, right?
Yep. Now we can. This.
I want to like swear and break my camera at you because like this Doctor Strange is not that different than the regular Doctor Strange, and the fact that you only like this version, and presumably like if you don't get this version, you're gonna not like him at all.
No, I like the character. I like the MCU Doctor Strange a lot more because of the What If. Because of What If.
Well, it's not just What If. It's because we're getting more content with him, because we haven't gotten a lot of Doctor Strange content. We've gotten one movie, and we've gotten maybe 25 minutes of screen time in Infinity War and 5 minutes in Endgame, and that's it. So haven't gotten a lot of Strange, and so we're about to get a whole lot more Strange, and he's my favorite. So anyway, this is his coffee mug right here.
Yeah, back to a couple fight scenes. One, Natasha has Alexa's shield.
Natasha joins them after Peggy and her have the conversation, and the plan is reinstated that failed, where they have the arrow with Zola. And so let's wrap it up because unless there's something you really got to highlight.
I want to point out Zola real quick. So if anybody knows what Zola looks like in the comic books, but let me pull up Zola real quick. He looks really silly. I don't, Justin. Do you know what Zola looks like from the comics?
Vaguely. He's. I mean, there's an argument to be made that just about every character has looked really silly at some point, unless they were created in the '90s post. Because if you look at the original Captain America, he looks like a silly boy too. If you look at the original Iron Man, he looks really silly too. You know,
that right there, if you can see Armin Zola, that's what he is in the comic books, right? He's a robotic body with a computer screen for a face. So they paid homage finally, because we never got Armin Zola like this in the MCU movies. They paid homage to this by when he takes over. Spoiler alert: he kills Ultron. He kills the Ultron AI, and then he takes over.
Yeah, they shoot him with the arrow into the eye, and Peggy or Natasha does it. Says, "This one's for you, Clint," and shoots him right in the eye as she's jumping on a motorcycle while Peggy is holding him in place. And very similar to the way they did Thanos in Infinity War on his home on Titan.
Mm-hmm.
So this time it worked because there wasn't an angry Peter Quill to ruin everything. But you know, that's how Zola got in, and Zola, you know, this is the plan was, you know, Zola, you have nothing left because Hydra's gone, so now you can fight this. You have purpose again, and he's like, well, I have nothing else to do, so I'll take him down.
Yeah. So I just like that they paid homage to. Marvel's been moving more towards comic book accurate costumes with their live action, and I really like that. And I like that they, like I said, paid homage to Zola as a character by busting out Vision's chest, putting Zola's AI face that we know from the MCU inside of his chest, and looking like the robotic walking around talking Zola that we have from the comics.
Yeah, it was great. Oh, hi. I did Lucas go bye-bye? I think he went bye-bye. I really like that. I thought it was really cool to see like we got a little bit of the Vision and Jarvis, or not Vision, Ultron and Jarvis.
Batman's the best.
Batman's the best.
I agree. Batman's pretty good, but
depends on which Batman.
Yeah.
Well, Ultron and Jarvis fighting in the same way that Zola and
Ultron
fighting again, which is really cool. So of course Zola somehow won this time, just because they needed.
He's an older AI. He's a stronger AI.
No. We don't know how old the Ultron Vision who had so.
Ultron
presumably no. Stop.
Baby AI. Ultron was a baby AI.
Stop talking before you. So no, we're talking about an Ultron Vision who you can't just destroy all life in a universe in a day. You had to have been around for trillions of years to do that. Trillions of years to do that.
Mm-mm.
So
not if you can destroy the life, go hop universe, destroy life, hop planet, destroy life, hop planet, destroy life.
It's still,
he has the space stone. You can open up a portal and be like, boom, dead. Boom,
yeah, but there's
dead,
still so many planets that so far. Oh yeah, he had the whole gauntlet. Never mind. Screw me.
Yeah,
I'm always wrong. I don't even know why I do this. I'm so wrong every time. Except for the end of this, I'm not wrong about. But anyway, let's get to the end. So yeah, they. You know, obviously Zola betrays immediately. Zola immediately is like, "Oh, I got." I'm like, "Yeah, he's gonna take over." I for a second I was like, "Oh, I guess he kamikaze," but no, he's like, "No, I'm in control now." I'm like, "Yeah, predictable." And so
I'm the captain now.
Yeah, and so Eric planned on again, also another betrayal. What happens with him?
He rewires one of the Ultron bot's heads, and it somehow like brings all the vibranium.
Oh yeah. Cool like, scene where
the nanotech over to him, and then he gets the Ultron armor with the Infinity Stones, and that's where I said like it harkens to like his actual character, where it's like he says, "We have the Infinity Stones now, guys. Like let's go back to our universes and fix the problems that all these universes have. Like, we can do this now. He wasn't just doing it for his. He was doing it for the rest of the team too, at the same time.
I don't think no, because he didn't even try to convince them. He's just like, all right, you don't agree. I'm gonna end
they instantly said they were like, he was like, cousin, give me the stones, and he's like, he knows he wasn't gonna be able to convince them, so he's just like, okay, fine, guess y'all gotta die.
I don't think I think he was more telling them because he didn't want to have to deal with them. But then now at that point, because like at this point he's only known them for like a day, so he has no reason to have any kind of feelings for them. I think he was just saying it, and I don't think he even planned on helping them. But at the point where he may have changed, but either way, still a bad guy.
No, he was used for the plot device, the same way as like Strange did the exact same. Also, I don't want to say is like, how Strange did his whole went through the whole stages of like, this is the end game, this is the only outcome we have. I like how he had the same kind of like epiphany when he saw essentially Eric and Zola fighting for the stones. He's like, it was never about destroying them. It was never about destroying Ultron. And I was like,
that, and it shows why, like, another reason why I like Doctor Strange better, because instead of saying, "Oh, I'm going to like shoot an arrow," or I'm going to punch harder, or I'm going to use a new spell, he figures out a way to cleverly tackle a situation and solve it with his brain versus having a new suit of armor or something to take over. He's smart. In the same way he put Dormammu in a time loop, he put Killmonger and Zola, Vision, Ultron,
frozen
Jarvis.
in a pocket dimension.
Basically
a multi-dimensional snow globe.
Yep, and
where he was actually.
Yeah. So and this is where that everything's fine, is solved. We get basically address like what's happening to everybody. Most of the people go back to their own universes. Strange, since he doesn't have a universe to go back to, is now another Watcher, having to watch over for all eternity the pocket universe that is Killmonger.
I want to talk about Peggy's, the way she left, real quick.
Yeah, we'll talk about her. We'll get there. I'm just okay. That was
you skipped over her, and Strange was right before when Peggy talking.
I thought Strange was first.
No, with Peggy talking, Strange, Natasha.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna leave it out.
I know. I'm just being a butt.
So yeah, talk about Peggy.
All right. So I like how it was her exiting and Steve's exiting and Endgame was different. So it shows the stoicness that she is. Like, she's just all about her, essentially, and like proving her worth. Because at the end, she sees a picture of Steve on the wall, because they're actually in the bar that she used to. The Watcher had him in the bar where like she was when she was back in the World War II era, and she's looking at the picture of Steve, and he's like, you don't want to go back to your time. He's like, you don't want to go back there. You want to go back here, don't you? And she's like, she starts to shake her head yes. And he's like, even though you don't believe me, the world needs Captain Carter. Your world needs Captain Carter.
That time period.
Yeah. And she's just like, and she starts thinking about it, and she's like, you know what? You're right.
But the Watcher knew that Steve was there. He knew. He was like, it's gonna be a surprise,
Yeah, because it seems like Captain Carter's timeline is essentially the MCU 616 MCU, but with her replacing Steve. That's it. It seems like it's following like a trend. So maybe she's gonna deal with Thanos and the Infinity Stones and everything like later on, like they dealt with them. Which means
I'm very confident they're going to continue Captain Carter around in some form, whether that's live action.
I enjoy that character a lot now. But yeah,
he's great. Yeah.
Then we move on to what Justin was talking about, the pocket dimension with Strange. Great ending of his character. I love that a lot. And then we get Natasha.
Yeah, and this is my least favorite part because well, I think I like how it shows Uatu. His character is like, I'm gonna like allow, like, since I had to stop Vision and these people now know, they're in on the idea that this is kind of like the reality that we're in and that this is what's possible. It's not fair for me to like put them back, where they're just dealing with tragedy. So he's like, go back to your universe and wink wink. And he kind of lies to Natasha for the sake of like testing her to see if she's worthy. And she, also kind of falls into that and ends up in the universe where all the Avengers died, which retroactively makes the that my least favorite episode a little more important. I think Lucas was talking about at the beginning of the stream.
Mm-hmm.
So, and they're on a helicarrier, and it's a really cool battle scene of
because Loki's
Ultron.
Loki's. It was Loki and Asgardians, because at the end of that episode, Loki was like, "I'm now King Loki."
Right. So the worst line of dialogue in the entire What If, I think, is Nick Fury sees her and goes, without reacting emotionally at all, just goes, "You're not my Natasha, but you have her spirit." How do you know that's not your Natasha? What do you mean?
Because his
How do you know?
Dead and she looks different.
Yeah, but that's not the first thing. Like, it could have been like if
I mean, he's already dealing with a shapeshifter. He's already dealing with someone who's deal with magic, and he
like
knows he can.
If your coworker died, right, and you saw their body, whatever, and 2 minutes later, or like a year later, they come back and they're like, it's them, and you're like, oh, it's you. The first thing you're gonna say is, you're not my version, you're a different version, and it's like, you don't know that.
I don't know. I saw it differently.
That is the dumbest thing in the world. Like, you cannot argue that is like the first thing you go to.
I saw it differently because he's already dealt with
your opinion.
He dealt with like magic, and he's dealt with all this other crazy stuff already. So he's like, okay, so there's things that from another world. He's Nick Fury. He's always expecting something. Like, at this point of his life, nothing surprises him.
At least react as if you care that Natasha's back. He doesn't react, and he doesn't have any emotions on his face, and he says, "You're not my Natasha."
That's how many years was Natasha with S.H.I.E.L.D. by then? Like, when they all died, it was like Iron Man. What?
I don't care. It's a dumb line, and there's nothing you can say.
I had no problem with it.
It's stupid.
No problem.
Just like Doctor Strange's cringy speech. And all that other stuff.
I didn't care about that either.
So this
was a flawless episode.
To you.
Yeah.
I think it was a great ending. And what I've confirmed, I do not think we are seeing any more Superior Strange. I don't think we're seeing any more Killmonger. I don't think we're seeing any more Ultron Vision or Zola Vision at this point. I think they're all done. Everybody who is saying that Doctor Strange from here was going to be in Spider-Man, you're wrong. That's not happening. And the only character that I think they could possibly use in future installments would be Peggy Carter.
Or Bro Thor.
No, they're not gonna use Bro Thor. He's too similar to our Thor for them to need to use him anywhere else. But maybe, and we also really don't need, like, that story is pretty much.
Did you not see an episode, a movie, or like a little snippet of something where you see our MCU Thor as like a big fat Thor still, and you see Bro Thor, and they're just like, "You got fat. Don't talk to me that way. I'm your mother. Don't look at me that way." Like,
no, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure the next time we see Thor, there will have been an off-screen dieting and exercise regimen, and he'll be back to normal. I don't think we're going to see him.
He's in Guardians 3.
Yeah, but Thor: Love and Thunder comes out first.
Does it?
Guardians 3 doesn't come out till 2023.
Oh, it does. Yeah.
But we get next year. We get the Christmas special. So
Thor be in the Christmas special. Have him dress up as Santa Claus. Ah!
But we know from Thor: Love and Thunder and the production stills that he's back to normal. So some point in the movie, which I'm assuming will be off screen, he'll be back to normal, like back to like hulking beefcake, you know, heartthrob Thor. I thought it would be really cool, like because they have like this '80s theme between Thor Ragnarok and Guardians. If we get like an '80s montage of him working out from Fat Thor to like back to regular Thor, that would be amazing. But I don't think that we're gonna get that.
That'd be great.
You need a montage. You know, just like Thor doing that, like lifting Mjolnir like this while he's sipping like a smoothie or something, like a protein smoothie.
Mjolnir.
But yeah, I think Bro Thor. I think to do any more with Bro Thor would risk making his character annoying. Because there's no need to. He's got a closed off arc. Like you can take any story that's finished and like add more to it, as we've seen in the past like 10 or so years if you want, but I don't feel like it'd be a good idea to continue Bro Thor. They were gonna they announced today that they had planned to do a spin-off T'Challa Star-Lord show, but they canceled that because, you know, rest in peace Chadwick Boseman. But that would have been great. I would have loved to seen that. I would love to see Captain Carter as a series as well, as long as they don't do everything we've already seen again. And I know Lucas was like saying he kind of was into that, but like I don't want to see her fight Thanos the same way. Like I don't want to see her go through that arc, because this not only would this be, we've already got the difference of, you know, Captain America's in our universe, he's this lonely dude. He doesn't, but in this universe, it's going to be power couple, you know, Peggy and Steve, and so that would be really interesting to watch, as long as they don't do like everything that they've already done. Bucky never joined Hydra in this one either, so he's dead. So a lot of what there's a lot of potential there already for them not to retread, and so especially now with all of that being dealt with, if they were to retread anything, it would be just like what, you know. So I don't want to see them go up against Thanos. I want to see them go. I'd like to pick up after Thanos, as if there was, you know, no Steve going back in time at the end of Endgame, and we get to see their adventures from there, and it's all new stuff, you know, like maybe them dealing with
that would
Crimson
be a fun,
Dynamo or something. You know,
would have been for her story if they'd ever did anything. Did you ever see anything about the Captain America when he got brainwashed as a Hydra agent? Have you ever seen that before? That anything about that before? Okay, so it would have been cool to have if they did a series with her
getting brainwashed.
Yeah, so instead of dealing with Bucky, it's actually Captain Hydra or whatever they call him, Captain America Hydra, or like have him be the dynamic that she has to fight.
And it's also up in the air whether Tony ever became Iron Man, because he's not on the helicarrier. And part of why Tony became Iron Man is because his parents were killed by Hydra through Bucky. So that didn't happen unless they used someone else, and that could totally. This is what if, so anything's possible.
What Captain America was on that helicarrier at the end where Natasha was at? Was that
I don't remember seeing anybody there except maybe
Captain Marvel. There was Captain America.
Yep. No, they were all dead in that universe.
I know that's what I'm saying. On that helicarrier that Natasha was on, where the universe where they all died, Captain America was there.
Was he?
Yes. Yeah, because he's fighting the Asgardians.
Oh yeah, because they hadn't thawed him out yet. That's how they ended the episode.
Yeah. That's right. That's right. That's right.
Fury and Natasha were, Captain Marvel and Fury were standing over the.
That's right. That's right.
The shield.
That's right. I don't remember that episode 100%.
And you could, I guess you wouldn't have Ant-Man either, because he, Scott never would have met up with Hank, because Hank's on the Rage mission. And no Hope either. No Hope. Get it? But yeah, I don't know. I would like to see more of the Zombie Hunter Spider-Man.
Although I'm pretty sure Doctor Strange dumped all the zombies on top of Ultron.
He didn't dump all of them. Like he dumped all the zombies that were near Wanda.
So at the airport where she was fighting Hulk.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because like if the whole world is covered in zombies, that definitely wasn't a whole world worth of zombies.
That would have been just funny if he just left a portal open, just vacuuming up the zombies from the whole world.
And also cool. Presumably we're not going to see Zombie Hunter Spider-Man because they were going to deal with zombie Thanos with all the Infinity Stones. So there's no way they could defeat him.
That was done.
There's no way. Yeah. Like I'm sure they can make an episode where they do, but like presumably there's no way that they could stand a chance.
Yeah, especially since they don't have Doctor Strange because he's a zombie.
They literally have Black Panther who is injured. They have Scott Lang who is a head, and Spider-Man. That's it. Everybody else is a zombie in the whole world, and Thanos has all the Infinity Stones. So yeah, they're not.
Well, that world's done.
Oh, and Hulk may have survived, but he's not there.
Doubt he survived.
Well,
that would have been a cool callback to that episode.
He was fighting Scarlet Witch, wasn't he?
Yeah, that would have been a cool callback to the episode if, like, when he dropped everybody on there, it would have been like Zombie Hulk and Zombie Scarlet Witch, and they both like went at Vision Ultron. Man, that was a waste. That was a waste. Ooh.
Well, or at least have like Hulk's arm land on it so that you know that she's dealt with him. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like that would have been maybe they didn't. We missed it. I don't think they did. But yeah, like I think the final episode has the hypest moments. I give episode 8 a 10 out of 10. I give episode 9 a 9.5 out of 10. I think they're the strongest episodes. I think there's a couple of really bad dialogue choices. I don't understand Scarlet Witch at all, like why she's there. So if you want to throw up the rankings, I'll give your scores.
Oh yeah, I'm reversing mine. I thought episode 9. I thought episode 8 was a 9 out of 10, and I thought episode 9 was a 10 out of 10. So. Okay. All right, so you want to do yours first?
I also wanted to say I'm disappointed because I don't think that. I don't think now at the end of this, I don't think we're seeing Watcher in live action. I'm pretty sure we're not going to see Peggy in live action. I think she'll be in season 2 of What If. But I don't think.
I mean, there is still that hot rumor she's going to be in Multiverse of Madness.
The only thing that is the rumor is that Haley Atwell's in it, not that Captain Carter. Captain Carter is just assumed because, but it might just be Peggy. But then again, I don't know why you would have Peggy because, yeah, it makes sense. But again, we're getting into there is that's like saying Daredevil's in No Way Home. But at least with No Way Home, there's a plot leak that you can reference. I don't know. So I'm not holding my breath for that. I think the way this series ended, I don't think we're going to get to see. I don't think multiverse of the What If is going to really play into the live action. But I was wrong about Madam Hydra and Black Widow and all that. So we shall see. And right, so I will be happy to be wrong as always. But I'm as always, I'm cynical pessimist when it comes to like having it all. And I don't really need Peggy in live action, like, to be honest. Like, I like her, I think it'd be cool, but I think if they just make her the star of What If, then it'll make What If even more relevant.
I think that's what they did, though. I feel like she is the star of What If. Although I think Doctor Strange is the star of What If.
Yeah,
but
he
can't do anything now. He's stuck.
I also want to just shout out to Jeffrey Wright as the Watcher. Just perfect all around. Everything he said, everything he did. Great acting. I love his character. I can't wait to see more of him. And like have him interact with the other Watchers. I'm really excited for that to continue.
That would be probably what happens in the next What If is the other Watchers coming to him about the ramifications of what he did. Like being involved. Like he actually got involved. So that might be like a plot coming up.
Yeah. And hopefully next season they'll be able to get all the actors to voice their characters.
That'd be nice. So. All right. So let's pull up your ranking first, my friend. Let me get this up here.
Did you finish it?
I did.
Yay! This is like the most divided I think Lucas and I have ever been on.
Oh, it very much is. Wait till you see my change. All right.
No,
so
I'm just saying, like this whole podcast, we've been very opposite. Like
we have been because
fucking head. Where's your head at?
I don't know. All right, so this is where we're at with you, Justin.
What? Okay, I guess titles. So, 1 is episode 8. 2 is 9. So the finale is just under the. Like I said, I think finale 6 landing. T'Challa Star-Lord forever be my favorite episode probably to watch because I love that part of the universe. I love seeing Thanos as a good guy. Zombies again, not exactly what I wanted out of zombies, but still really fun. Number 5, Killmonger's story. Not a big fan of like him as a whole and everything as a whole, but I think that episode just does as much as you can with What If to the best extent. Same with number 6, but there's less characters. But Doctor Strange again is the world is completely different. Everything's changed, and that's what we want to see from What If. We want to see completely new. If you're going to do the anthology, you want completely different things happening. You don't want retreads. Which brings me to 7, which is Peggy Carter, strong character. I love watching her get the serum and everything, but it's just basically the same movie we've already seen with slight differences, with the biggest one being um, uh, Steve getting the Iron Man suit as the Hydra Stomper, which is cool, but not enough to make me like it. And then the bottom tier, number 8, which felt like a giant waste of time. But I think 8 and 9, like the last two on the list, the Bro Thor, Party Thor, and the Avengers all dying. I think the ending of this sticks the landing in a way that makes those two relevant. But I still think it's not interesting at all to watch the Avengers die in a world where there's like, who cares about the consequences in an infinite multiverse? So yeah, I didn't. I'll probably never watch episode. What if the world lost its mightiest heroes again? Because I'm probably not going to watch most of these again. I will watch the Doctor Strange one again. I will watch the T'Challa one again, and the last two I'll probably watch multiple times because but at the end of the day, the highlight of this series is the Watcher fighting Ultron Vision through each different universe and the stakes that go into that, and just the desperation that comes from what if Ultron won. I think that's the best question that is asked in all of What If, and it has the most chilling answer as far as like what we get to see on the episode. And I do really appreciate how it ends with all the heroes kind of like you feel like worthy of having watched all of them because they are utilized. But I am still disappointed in the final episode for not really seemingly tying into anything else in the future because this doesn't set up Eternals. This doesn't set up Multiverse of Madness in a very visible way. There's nothing to really surprise us. And like the end credit scene, I was hoping would do something like that, but it simply was Peggy seeing Steve as the Hydra Stomper, which cool. They're going to be together, but
oh wait, there's an end credits. I didn't know that.
You didn't see the end credits?
No, I'm gonna have to go watch it.
So the end credits is Peggy is in her Avengers universe. They continued after after Baltrock, so they deal with Baltrock or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And Natasha's like, we found something on the ship, and it's a cargo container, and the Hydra Stomper's in there with Steve. So he's alive. So Steve's in the future now. You didn't see that?
No, did not.
No, that's the end credit scene. Yeah.
I'll have to go watch it.
That's why I'm saying like the Watcher is like you're gonna go back to your own universe, and they need you. But he knew all along that Steve was there, and he's like, I can't wait for her to find this out. But he didn't want to tell her because
because he's the Watcher.
Yes. So yeah, and I also think the last episode was somewhat predictable because we figured all along like they're gonna use all these characters in some way. So they're gonna make use of this, and they did, and it was Ultron Vision and blah blah blah, all this stuff. So yeah, I just wish that What If as a whole tied more into the other projects, because at this point, unless other projects reference it, this is completely optional viewing in the MCU. It doesn't. It's just a good way to like understand the multiverse a little better after Loki, but it doesn't really pertain to anything so far that's going to be in live action. But maybe we'll see in Multiverse of Madness.
All right, so my turn. Let me put up my graphics up on screen. All right, so my number one is episode 9. Flawless episode, in my opinion. I know Justin had his grievances, but I think they executed everything very perfectly. The only thing I had a problem with was he actually brought it up, was the Scarlet Witch being a Nexus being and not affected by the multiverse. And he also said, I didn't notice it in Zombies 1.
Yeah.
At first, but now that I saw it again, I was like, oh, okay, this doesn't really make any sense. So, but that didn't take away anything from it. Like I said,
no, I don't think it hurts. I don't think it. And sorry to cut you off. I don't think it hurts the final episode because it more hurts the Zombies episode. But it's just asking us. It's like setting up rules that they're not following. At least, or at least not clearly explaining what a Nexus being is. So
yeah. So there's that. Number 2, like I said, mine and his top 2 are reversed. Episode 8. I thought it was good, but I didn't. It gave me the oomph that I was wanting from the MCU with like power levels and deities. So it gave me what I was wanting, but it didn't. There was something missing from the episode that made me like love that the most. Like I wanted more, basically, right? So, and then episode 9 gave me the more I was looking for, especially with the Doctor Strange tie-in right at the end of episode 8. So I liked what it gave me, but I wanted more. So it didn't give me everything that I needed. Episode 3, Doctor Strange lost his heart instead of his hands. For all the anthology episodes, that is the perfect one. It is the perfect one that suits me as a consumer. It is a perfect one that suits me as anything that I am. The animation was great. The characters were awesome. Very self-contained story. There wasn't a bunch of people to deal with. I love that in a story. Very dark. Probably the darkest episode, honestly. To me, darkest episode, 100% ways. Like, I understand Ultron obliterating universes is dark and grim and gritty, but it's not like a man who...
Yeah, we actually care because we get to see the suffering.
Exactly. It's this tortured soul that just wants to bring his love back to life. And every time he tries to bring her back to life, she dies. She always dies. And he goes through leaps and mounds to break everything around him to become better than what he is. And if he becoming better than what he is, it still hurt him in the long run. So perfect storytelling, in my opinion. It's just the whole culmination of it. I would have put this at 1 still, if episode 9 did not blow me out of the water with like the omnipotent level fighting and the spectacle of the action scenes, and like the visuals were so crazy, and the humor caught me too. So there's that. Episode 4, I actually moved this up on my list. This is one of the ones I changed. After watching episode 9, and I rewatched episode 1 because of it, I have such more of appreciation for Peggy Carter, Captain Carter, as a character. It made me it makes me remember how much Captain America Steve is my favorite Avenger. Like from the mainline Avenger team, it's just I like someone who doesn't have to have a bunch of things added to them to do good. Like he has a super soldier serum, right? That's all he has. He's just stronger, faster, but he's not flying around.
Harder.
He's not throwing magic. He's not like building breaking strength. He's not someone who can bust planets. Granted, I like that, but I also liked having to deal with a character that is more well-rounded, not power breaking. And that's what these characters are. And the stuff they deal with, I also like period pieces a lot. And this is a World War II era episode, which also grabs my attention a lot. So it moved up because of it. And I love how she was in episode 9 as well.
quick question, because this is like going forward for the rest of these reviews. You like period pieces? Does it matter what period it is?
No, I like period pieces in general.
So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter as long as it's not modern.
Yeah.
You like it a little more than modern stuff.
I do.
Okay, because for me, I'm not trying to interfere with your list here, but it's like for me, World War II is like done so much. I've seen so much World War II stuff being done, so it's like a little oversaturated. That's
yeah. I like something new, of course, if it's a period piece, but I also like fantasy. So like take this, like there was a zombie movie or like a zombie-esque movie that came out and it was set in World War II. And I was like, oh, okay, this suits my needs because I like period pieces and I like not historical stuff most of the time. So if they blend the two together, then it's perfect. Vampire, like Cowboys versus Aliens. I love that movie.
That movie does not get enough attention.
I love that movie because it's cowboys and aliens. So yes, but period pieces. Fun fact about me, Justin. I didn't know if you knew or not. So once again, one that got moved up on my list was What If Thor Was Only Child. I rewatched that one too, just because of episode 9, and I was like, I died laughing at every joke. Every joke hit the mark for me, and I love how he goes from this like big goofus Chad to like someone who actually like he's in love with Jane. He was like, maybe I can be better with myself. And then the big oops at the end with Vision and Ultron Vision and how it ties into the bigger picture. I'm glad they used that one because that was such a good, hearty, feel good episode. And to make the situation just go from like haha funny, everything's crazy to like, oh crap, the world's about to end situation. That was such a good idea for Marvel to do.
If you let me to interject with the Thor episode, it right now it's kind of the same way that Dark World is for me. Like after Endgame, Dark World matters so much more. After the end of this, the Party Thor episode matters. I mean, all of the episodes matter so much more, but Party Thor was one at the bottom of my list. I appreciate it a lot more since they pulled elements from that for the final.
Oh, one thing I want to mention. This isn't like about this, but it's like so when it comes to ranking things, I would rather have all the medium out to rank things before I rank things because like take a Netflix show, right? If you rank all the episodes of a Netflix show, all the episodes are out. So you can watch all the episodes all the way through and then properly digest which episode how the episodes work for you. Now, if it's a show that's coming out weekly, then you have to like wait until the end to fully rank it. So like when we were ranking them as they were coming out, of course we knew the things were going to move around and everything, but we kind of had the idea like more or less things were just going to keep either moving downwards or upwards. Whereas with my list, I rearranged everything completely because of the finale.
We also we also started this thinking it was going to be an anthology to where none of them would, like they wouldn't interfere with each other too much. I think it's fair when you're talking like project to project, movie to movie. I think it's okay to rank those as they're coming out because I don't think it's fair for you to in a movie setting to be like, oh, Spider-Man No Way Home came out and it made Far From Home better. It's like, no, when that came out, how did you feel? With this though, this was kind of mysterious. I feel like this and WandaVision particularly, you don't know where they're going. Like this is not traditional storytelling. So with these all kind of being separate entities, I think it was fair to rank them as they were coming out. But I do think that the ending of this calls into question how these episodes retroactively make you feel. I think it's fair to change your rank at this one. But I think going forward, I think it's fair that we rank things as they're coming out because I think that's when you're telling a story, how do things make you feel? Altogether, I like the only reason we ranked each episode individually is because we thought it was an anthology. But for the most part, we're not going to rank episodes. We're just going to score the episodes. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, that's like we didn't rank Loki as the episodes were coming out. Which episode was better? We just gave them a score and then we ranked Loki. We're going to rank Loki as a whole in phase 4. But this one, we didn't realize going into it that it wasn't just an anthology. So it was a mistake to try and rank them as they were coming out without knowing the full picture.
Yeah. So then, moving on with my rankings, we got Killmonger saves Tony Stark. I thought this was going to stay pretty high on my list, but it went down. I started thinking about it. I didn't really. I like the anime stuff is like more of like a. Meta. I think they added a cheeky nod because of the whole like Vegeta meme. That's with Killmonger. I want to say that's what they did. They wanted to stay relevant. Maybe they didn't. Maybe they didn't. Maybe they just did it because anime is relevant. But I think they did the whole.
Well, they did it because Michael B. Jordan likes anime.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe they did because of how they compare Killmonger to Vegeta's like outfit.
That's because Michael B. Jordan asked. He likes anime. He likes Dragon Ball Z, so he asked the people who make his outfit to. He helped them make it. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I mean, it makes sense because of the actor, but I don't know if it makes sense for the character himself.
The actor, as far as a comic book adaptation, no. But this is Michael B. Jordan's interpretation, so yeah.
Yeah.
His interpretation of Eric Stevens likes anime, and that makes sense because as a black man in was it New York?
Mm-hmm.
In New York.
Was it New York?
I don't remember. Chicago. It was some urban.
Chicago. I think it was Chicago. I think it was more there.
I don't know.
Midwest.
But that's not Midwest. Is it Midwest? Anyway.
Yes.
Illinois is on the. Anyway, I don't know. It's all I'm saying is like it makes sense for a person growing up black like I'm not trying to profile or anything, but like there's a lot of black people my age who love anime. There's not as much white people my age that I talk to that know anime. Like I don't know, they're as far as like we're being pretentious, they're being like snooty. They don't like anime at all. So
it threw me off. It threw me off. Is all
I think it makes sense for Eric Stevens, isn't it? Michael B. Jordan's interpretation.
It threw me off, no matter what. It threw me off.
I don't think that's a fair reason to like lower your ranking of
it threw me off.
It's one line,
and then some of the action scenes were very.
Oh, you're talking about the robots.
No, yeah, the robots threw me off.
Yeah.
His versions of robots threw me off just because, like, well, I like anime, and I'm like, okay, you like anime, but it doesn't mean you have to have anime robots. Like, granted, I know Tony's like. You're his protege, like you're building yourself up. So like if you want to model stuff after you want to like you do it. But like I feel like there should have been a little bit more Stark in those robots, and there wasn't, and that bothered me on a little bit. Like it would have been cool to see Stark's actual technology raiding Wakanda, not like Gundams. It bothered me a little bit.
Yeah, it would have been more emotionally impactful and insulting to Tony Stark's legacy had they done that. It would have felt heavier. Yeah, I'm not trying I keep talking over your.
No, you're fine because like I'm bringing out a lot of new points that I didn't bring out before.
Well, I have a response. Things. Yeah, and I have a response. Like when you're done, I want to talk a little bit about. Anyway, continue.
Yeah, and like I said, the fight scenes. I gassed up the fight scenes for this one. I think I remember correctly, but like I watched it again. I watched the fight scenes in particular just. Because that's what I base a lot of my things on is like the animation. And when you animate fight scenes, it's one of the biggest ways to showcase how good of an animation quality you have. And there were some static movements with the fight scenes that I didn't realize I saw before. And I was like, oh, wow. So I was really hyping this up. I was really hyping this up for no reason, wasn't I? So I dropped it. I still like Eric as a character. That's one of my favorite characters from the What If series so far. I liked what he was doing. I liked the whole calculated nature of what he was doing.
I just thought of something,
but I don't. I don't think he deserves a higher ranking on the list because of it. And then, well, this might be a surprise to you for my next one is T'Challa. What if T'Challa became Star-Lord?
Nah.
I liked it when I first saw it. I liked it when I first saw it. The whole. I mean, I know he's with the Ravengers, and I know like the cosmic. Marvel is supposed to be this big funny hoopla stuff, but I would have liked Chadwick Boseman.
Jesus Christ!
I always mess it up. I'm sorry.
Every time.
I wish his T'Challa was like he is T'Challa, but he's not the stoic, like prideful one. He's more of like the quippy, I know I'm the best. Ha ha ha. Look at me. I am Star-Lord. Everyone knows me. Everyone's friendly with me. Like I liked it, but like not enough. Not enough. And Thanos ruined it for me. It really did.
I love Thanos in that episode.
I did not.
Perfect.
I did not.
It's and like one of my favorite things of all of What If.
And the Black Order can walk Thanos makes no sense. Makes no sense.
Did you rewatch like all of them?
I did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't remember. I remember Thanos going toe to toe. Like this is Thanos, no armor, no blade, no Infinity Stones, going toe to toe with Ebony Maw, who was going toe to toe with not Ebony Maw, Cull Obsidian, who is putting up a fight towards Iron Man until Wong snapped his hand off, and then he survived. So I mean, he ended up fighting Hulkbuster.
He was going to beat. He was going to beat Iron Man unless Wong had cut his hand off.
Remember when Hulk and Thanos were fighting at the beginning of Infinity War? Thanos has the Power Stone. So we don't really know what his power level is without the Power Stone up to this point. So
I can't.
There's no telling how.
That even makes me hate it even more then, because it's the nerfing of a character that MCU has done. So we're only ranking Thanos.
No, we don't know how powerful Ebony or Cull Obsidian is, though. So that's not fair to say that
there would be no reason for Thanos to be the leader of them and be weaker than one of his members on a base level stat.
No, because Captain America is the leader of the Avengers, and he's weaker than all of them on a base, except for Hawkeye and Black Widow.
Steve would be Steve. I think Steve would be Iron Man in a fight, personally, in the MCU at that point. He was beating him up with Bucky.
Yeah, but he had Bucky. He didn't have. If it was just Iron Man and Steve fighting, Steve might be able to do like a Batman. He might be able to pull off like.
It's also hero versus villain syndrome. The villain isn't going to surround himself with people that can beat him in a fight.
What?
The hero, like a villain in a story, his henchmen are not going to be stronger than him and a base level stat. So I don't know. It's just me thinking the way I think. I didn't like the fight. I thought it was bland. I didn't like it.
Joker has he can't really fight, so he has other people fight for him. So that's a silly way.
Joker would not lose a fight versus one of his henchmen. He would be able to beat.
Yeah, if one of his henchmen was like Bane, if he had Bane working for him, yeah, Bane could whoop him.
But he wouldn't have Bane working for him. That's
Joker's had really powerful henchmen before. Yeah, Joker has like thuggish dudes that are really powerful working for him against.
And then Batman. He's just like gun.
Yeah, but he's using a gun. Where like if Thanos had the Infinity Gauntlet, that'd be the same kind of principle. He'd have the Power Stone to fight.
I don't see that. I don't see that comparison the same. I don't see like
if Thanos had a gun and shot somebody versus punching them.
All right. Do you think Thanos as a character is going to have someone if you've gotten a bare knuckle brawl with, you would be able to beat him in the fight?
Yes.
I don't think so.
Because Thanos is about he thinks he's not just a brawn.
Yes he is. Yes he is. That's my point of like nerfing out
Thanos is a master tactician, and he knows how to manipulate people's emotions.
And a master warrior as well.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean he doesn't need his warrior to command legions. Nobody needs that. That if you have to be, we're talking, we're splitting hairs here, and this is a silly nonsense discussion, and it really has no place in this podcast. But I just think it's not fair. Like I really like this interpretation of Thanos, and you got to understand. Number one,
did not like it.
This Thanos is not motivated by extreme principle to where he's probably keeping himself fit. He's probably lazying about and having adventures, and he's not. This is a different Thanos, and just because, if you don't like him, period, that's fine. But using the idea that when clearly that Lex Luthor has more powerful. He had Zod working for him at one point. Like he knows how to manipulate people into working for him that are more powerful. Like great villains can do that. I think that's a cop out excuse to not like the character. And it's also
didn't like it.
Thanos beats Coal Obsidian. So without the Power Stone, without all this stuff,
did not like it. Don't like it.
That's
didn't like it.
That's fine. I don't like Eric Stevens that much. To be honest.
I mean, I
think he's a great villain. I think he's one of the best villains that they've had. But
I definitely put Eric Stevens lower on my list. So.
I'm not talking about the episode.
The character himself.
Yeah, I think he's a really good villain. I think he's very well written. But
I like him because of how well of a villain he's written. That's why I like.
Yeah, I like him better in Black Panther than I did any of this.
Yeah. So then let's move on.
I'm just saying. The point I was making is we can disagree about all kinds of different things.
Yeah.
But I personally think that you switch your biases around, like your arguments, like don't seem to like the things that you like aren't as consistent because I do think that, like again, the having a villain have other more powerful people work for him, as long as they're dumber, that makes sense. And yeah,
still don't like it. Anyways, zombies.
Madam Hydra's gonna have all these other people working for her. Thunderbolt Ross, like he's not even the Hulk. He's not Red Hulk, and he's.
I don't even think we're getting that. I don't even think we're getting that.
All I'm saying is, like in general, we have people who are villains who are less powerful than their lackeys all the time. It doesn't mean they're not good villains.
Thanos is not that villain. That's what I'm trying to. That's what you're trying to throw. You're trying to throw a bunch of stuff at me to try and confuse the situation. But Thanos is not that kind of villain.
No,
Thanos is the strongest person in the room, and he knows it.
Not this Thanos, and I understand that you don't like this Thanos. That's fine. But again, I'm saying like having that as a reason, like I think you're misconstruing because usually you bring those arguments up because you're like it's not comic book accurate. What if isn't about being comic book accurate? It's about doing things that are different. And so
exactly, that's why
you don't like it, and that's
going on.
You don't like things that are different.
Not like that kind of different. That didn't like.
Which means you are specifically biased, and it has nothing to do with it. It's because you don't like seeing your favorite version of Thanos reduced to this version of Thanos. Has nothing to do with him having lackeys or
multiple different versions of Thanos.
I'm trying to peel your layers back so I can get to the real reason, which is
I didn't like the Thanos. I didn't like the Star. Like I didn't like the episode. Like I'm starting to like more and more.
Fair.
I didn't like the episode. Like there was nothing. Like there was a couple good jokes in it. There was a couple good jokes in it, and there was a couple good cool scenes, but not enough.
And like to diminish my rankings, any episode that has Howard the Duck in it's already getting a boost from just having Howard the Duck in it. So that's not really fair either. But I'm going to do it.
It's just like any episode that had Bro Thor or Doctor Strange in it, which the last two episodes did.
Yeah. And fair.
Excited me.
I'm just trying to expose that you have biases that don't need like huge explanations, like the whole wacky thing. That's cop out.
I just don't like that Cold Obsidian was able to bop him around. That shouldn't have been a thing. Should not have been a thing. Anyways,
you didn't like that.
Zombies. I had to lower it down a lot more. I think it was too jokey. I wanted for the zombies. I wanted a more serious show, a more serious episode. I think it would. I don't think the jokes elevated it at all. I think it diminished it, if anything. There was a couple good things. I liked Hope from it. I really liked her character. I really liked how she was the hope that they were all needing. It was really cool. I liked the whole giant zombie thing. I saw it in the comic books with Giant Man. I like the flip that it was Hope instead of that.
Yeah, that was cool. Yeah.
And I liked a couple of other things I liked. Other thing that knocked it down was the stupid Scarlet Witch thing. I was like, why? Like, if this is your parameters you're setting, then why is this a thing?
Yeah, I think comparing it as far as like quality, I think you're absolutely right. But as far as like hypeness, I think Zombies was hype, and I think we both were hype as hell watching it. But like looking back, yeah, it's I didn't change my ranking because I didn't want to, but I probably would have lowered it too if I had.
Yeah.
So
The hypest part, the best what I like the most about the episode is the opening. I thought was really well done. The whole like thinking it's going to be Ebony Maw, that whole that Bruce was going to see, but revealing that it was actually zombies and how they dealt with them, I thought was really cool. But then the moment that it turned more into like Zombieland, I was like, do we really need Zombieland in the MCU, or can we have like a dark, hard hitting like story for the MCU that's involving zombies like the Marvel Zombies comics were? Like,
do you think we're going to get any more zombie content from Marvel?
I would like a Marvel Zombies
animated not what you would like. Not you would like. Do you think we're?
Do I think so? No.
Everybody would like more. I'm just saying, like, yeah, I don't think. No. I think that's it. They shot their shot. This is the best we're gonna get.
Yeah.
I think it was adequate. I think it makes sense with the MCU. But at the end of the day, when we're ranking what ifs, yeah.
And then the dumpster fire that is Mighty's Heroes.
Just a boring episode.
We watched this one too. I said before, I liked the whole Hank Pym going crazy thing. I think I said that. Maybe I didn't, but I actually like.
Oh yeah, you said that several times.
Yeah,
that's cool, but 30-minute episode.
And I don't know how he has the yellow jacket armor. I think that was one of our discussions.
That was something I brought up. I don't think you were on board with it, but like we had that heated kind of.
But I was a little iffy rewatching it because I was like, does it make sense for them to make it? And I'm like, wait a second, the assassin. Technically, whatever his name, bald enemy, bald cross, yeah. Obadiah Stane Diet Jr. Like, if he was working with Pym, or like if he stole stuff from Pym, it would be along the lines that there was maybe already the yellow jacket armor, like a prototype in the making, and Hank just advanced it because that armor is more for assassins, not stealth missions, not like not like stealthy like steal missions, like information stuff, which the Ant-Man suit was. This one was more like an assassin stealth suit, which it makes sense in long run running at it, and I like that he did that. So, and I also like the Loki part of it. I thought that was a little. I actually like that. I actually like that. Oh, where'd you go?
Can you still hear me?
I still hear you.
I knocked my camera cord.
Oh, dang. Technical difficulties all day today. But I liked the Loki stuff. It wasn't the best, but I liked it. It was just an underwhelming episode. And the thing that still hits me hard on the freaking head and the face is when you have your caskets, how do these people already have symbols and they weren't even part of the Avengers yet? Like, how is that a thing? Like, that bothered me so much.
I'm gonna leave and come back.
All right. That bothered me so much, and I don't understand why it bothered me. But yeah, that's essentially my ranking. Very different than Justin's, as you guys can see. We're definitely all over the place on it, but we'll come back.
Yeah, and I like that. I like that we're all over the place for it because, like, a lot of times Lucas and I will be close. Like, we're always a little bit different, but like we're never 100% congruent on anything. But we're usually closer, and we usually try and like manipulate each other, which is what friends do, and that's fine to try and kind of come to our side as far as like, what we're thinking. And we've done that a lot this episode. But I think every point that we bring up is important. And I think it makes this discussion way, way better and more nuanced and interesting. And I think at the end of the day, it's only 9 episodes. So the amount of importance, which episode is better than which. And I think Lucas agrees, like, you don't hate any of these episodes, right? Except maybe the last one.
No, I don't even hate that one. I just have a lot of problems with it.
And when you talk about hating Thanos, like, do you actually hate it? Or do you just rather have something else? You would rather have something else, right? So it's not like any Marvel content is
I would
good.
have rather it been like Gamora. I think that would have been fun. Is like seeing like the Gamora and Nebula like relationship. Like as
Yeah,
like,
I think we've gotten enough of that. I liked how we like, and this is I didn't want to go down the Thanos rabbit hole again, but like at best, it gave us the father daughter relationship between him and Nebula, which was a new thing we haven't seen before. But that's the thing. Like, I think Lucas and I have our own biases here because, like, I personally like new and different things. I think Doctor Strange, while doing very different things, he's very much the same person. And he acts the same way, he says the same kind of things, and he performs the same way he does. And so, but I love Doctor Strange, so of course I'm going to love seeing more of that. And T'Challa, similar but different. And if you wanted a different T'Challa, then you kind of get that itch scratched. But at the end of the day, all these episodes are good content, but it's just varying degrees of which. And ultimately, they are much more relevant now that the end of What If happened because it brought it all together. They really stuck the landing. As a whole, I didn't want to rank this as a whole because originally we were talking anthology. So it's like, it's like ranking Star Wars Visions as a whole. You can't really do that because everything's so unique. But this is not the case here. I think we can rank. We can probably score What If as a whole, and I would give it a 7.5 as a whole because not all the hype moments. Like I would say that we get some of the hypest moments we ever had in Marvel, but we also get some of the least hype moments, and a lot of it feels like work. Um, and I think as a whole, I don't think What If is as a whole the greatest like Marvel we've got. If that makes sense.
ooh, so I'm so that actually brings it up that even me and you are more again like varying right now because I did the quick phase 4 Marvel including Venom 2 everyone just of
We're
my
not telling you why Venom 2 is part of it,
yeah,
but we're going to include it regardless,
but
and it may or may not be.
I did a quick Marvel phase 4 graphic. It's just through the notepad, but I'll put this up here. That's my ranking right now for phase 4. Oh, I put it down. I'm so sorry. I messed up.
um, I don't know if you want to type numbers next to like at the end of each one of them to show mine, so you don't have to type all the words. But if you want to do that, I don't know. No. Who cares? I'll just say it. I think yours is fair. I'm surprised that Loki is underneath Captain America: Winter Soldier when ever since it came out, you've been saying it's better.
It's better, but I did
So
say I like Captain America and Winter Soldier better because it follows along with my favorite Marvel movie.
I mean, I've rewatched our streams for Loki, and you, Captain America and Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
Oh, Falcon and Winter Soldier. Okay, because you're using the final title for it. Well, Captain America and Winter Soldier is already a movie though. Like there's a movie called.
No, it's called Captain America: The Winter Soldier.
Okay. I can't. Thank you for clarifying the confusion. I just think I think the series is still called Falcon and Winter Soldier. Like overall, if you go on Disney Plus, it is called Falcon and Winter Soldier. So it's cute that you changed it to Captain America because they do at the end, but that's wrong. I'm just gonna say that's wrong.
It's not.
I mean, in spirit, you're right, but like officially on Disney Plus, it is called Falcon. So, but I would switch. So anyway, I'm gonna redo mine. I think Shang-Chi is. I think Shang-Chi is number one. That's hard to say, but I think Shang-Chi is number one for me. Number two is Loki. Number three is I'll just say it, Captain America and Winter Soldier. There, you happy? Um, number I guess we're at four or five. Five.
We're 4. You said number 3 was Captain America.
Shang-Chi, Loki, Falcon and Winter Soldier. I'm trying to. Am I leaving something out? Okay, so we're WandaVision. We have left. I would say WandaVision is next.
For number
Then,
4?
Yeah. Then What If?
For number 5?
Yep. Then Black Widow and Venom 2 are just garbage to me. Well, I think Black Widow is better than Venom 2. We'll put that. So, yeah. Like, I will rewatch Black Widow several times, even though it's probably one of my least favorite Marvel movies. But I still had a great time with it.
I'll only watch it. I will only watch it if once we're done finally, when we're like 80 years old, and I have nothing to do in my life, and all the Marvel movies are finally out. And I'll watch it and again in the timeline. But I'm not going to go out of my way to watch it, probably.
Yeah, I don't think I'll ever watch Venom 2 again.
Oh, I will.
I'll watch it. Like, I'll probably get it to see how good it looks in my OLED TV. Like, I'm not trying to brag or anything, but I think the first Venom is one of the best looking HDR experiences on TV, because like the Venom suits or character, I guess I should say, looks so good in OLED with the blacks. And the explosions in the motorcycle chase are great. So if Sony pulls off another highly reviewed HDR experience, I'll probably check that out. But unless that's going to happen, I
feel like Carnage. I feel like Carnage would look amazing on your television.
Well, feel free to, if you ever want to see something on my TV, just let me know and you can come over and watch it. Except for the people in the audience, I don't know y'all. Alex, anytime. That being said, I think we've really spoiled with Marvel. I think trying to rank everything when it's all so good, like even Venom 2 is still good. Like it's still an enjoyable experience, but it's mostly enjoyable to me for the comedy, and a lot of the comedy didn't land, so it's not going to land. What didn't land is not going to land the second time, and what landed the first time might not land the second time because it's jokes. Jokes, if you know they're coming, aren't as funny, and that's why you probably lowered, Marvel Zombies and Chala a little bit, because the first time you hear jokes, you have the bias of I enjoyed that. So in the same way with Venom 2, when I left the theater, higher score. A week later, a little lower. So, but anyway, this is one of our longest streams yet. I think the What If as a whole deserves it, and it's going to be a while before Marvel has content. Next up is Eternals. So unless we do Hit Monkey, which I just don't want to watch. I don't want to watch that. And I don't even know.
We didn't watch MODOK, so.
Yeah, MODOK was all right. I do Xbox Game Pass just got Marvel's Avengers from Square Enix. That game, despite having the worst microtransactions I've ever seen in anything, well, at least you know what you're getting. It's not a gambling system. You know that you're getting the costume, even if it is $15 for one skin. Sometimes it's anywhere from $5 to $15 for a skin, and there's like 300 different skins that you can get, and it's ridiculous that they're asking that much money. So if you got every skin, it will be like $4,000 or something like that. So that's stupid. Other than that, the game is really fun. Super repetitive, but like the characters feel like the characters. Like when you play as Iron Man, you feel like you're playing as Iron Man. When you play as Thor, you feel like you're playing as Kratos, but he can fly, and he's a lot more powerful. Sorry. It's like God of War, but it's better. And yeah, I think if anybody's on the fence about that, get it Game Pass and play that game. Really, all the characters are different than the MCU, but they're well acted very well. And Steve Rogers actually has a Queens or Brooklyn accent, like he's a New York accent, and he's I think he's better than Chris Evans is like if we're just talking one appearance, not talking the whole arc. I think this Captain America is more in line with the comic book. Not the same with Tony Stark, but I love Nolan North. He does a great job as Tony Stark, and Troy Baker kills it as Bruce Banner. Kills it. Kills it. Best Bruce Banner I've ever seen in my life. Yeah, perfect. So anyway, sorry to get long-winded there. Thanks for sticking around if you have for 2.5 hours. We love to see you.
Content.
Marvel is our first love here at PPC until they start coming back with DC strength. So
I'm about to say,
as far as movie content, as far as movie content, they don't make a lot of DC movies for us to review. So it's Marvel's just throwing content out there.
They make a lot of animated movies, but like you have stated multiple times, you're not really into the animation. So
there's just too many in it, and it's not. They're not very popular, So it's not like, WandaVision broke television records. So we're not talking about that happening with any of the DC movies. I'm gonna watch some of them.
Yeah.
So this is outside of stream, Lucas. I'm gonna watch some of them. I am excited to watch some of them. Timing is an issue, but trust me, we might make some content, but we have to have a dry spell. Anyway, as long as they're making Marvel content and DC movies for sure, we will be here to review them, and you can find us every week as if there's content. Pretentious Pop Culture on YouTube.com. Thanks, guys. Till next time.
All right. Bye.